The prophet of thought. Open your mind. 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 Open your mind.
Open your mind.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, say, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost got $1 billion.
The prophet of thought.
3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hear these sirens and look through the mirror and see this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, punk. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Why do you think you never pick up a paper 3D over and over and see white families travel? You think there's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 40 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops don't do that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better dressed? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, if we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that anytime a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you do to drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, then we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Sac Fifth Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Westinghouse. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
Santana Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear suspect down 10-4. That's 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your mind. And peace, folks. We right back at it. I know you just saw me a little while ago, so I don't have to introduce my damn self again, right? Good. Yeah, we about to throw down with the main event. My man Bernard Raleigh will be squaring off with the ladies from the breakdown. Tonight's topic on the debate will be proper leadership and natural submission. This ought to be good, folks. I appreciate everybody coming out. Make sure you hit the like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, and shut the hell up. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up my debaters. Lady George, Lady Concrete, and the one and only Riley. What's good with it, folks?
Hello,
on?
hello.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on? Y'all can hear me?
Going on?
Yes, we can,
Yeah,
Reverend
good.
Loud
Bernard.
and
We can hear you
clear.
just fine.
Loud and clear.
All right.
I'm kind of sort of waiting for my timekeeper, because if he doesn't come, that means I have to do the shit, and I don't really want to, but I will if I must. If I must, I will. Let me go ahead and set it up just in case, because he might have had to work late. He might have had to work late. So let me get my damn clock right. All right. So tonight we will be debating if a man leads properly, will he get natural submission? But y'all know before we start, I always got to say this, and I freaking hate that I got to do this, but I must do it because Negroes don't be knowing how to act. First and foremost, fans of the breakdown will not be disrespecting the Grown Man Hour. Likewise, fans of the Grown Man Hour will not be disrespecting the breakdown. Y'all know how we do it here. I need my moderators to be on point tonight. All right. And that Streamlabs bot is in there. So you might get one crazy word out before. Yeah. And it doesn't just go for the brothers. It goes for you ladies too. You might get one crazy word out right before.
Brutality.
All right. So just watch the goddamn debate. Be adults for an hour or two. All right. We clear? Good. Now then, these are the rules of the debate. We have 7-minute opening statements. Each debater gets 7 minutes to open up and lay down their premise. After that, we go into the rebuttal round. In the rebuttal round, each debater gets 5 minutes to rebut. We do that for a little while, then we go into something called rapid fire. Rapid fire, there is no clock, no timekeeper. The debaters get to engage directly, head to head. After the rapid fire round, we go into closing statements. Those are 7 minutes per debater. After that, we go to the polls. And if the debaters have time, we will take questions from the chat room, but y'all know how we do it here. Those questions ought to be super chatted or cash apped, or I will not read them. All right? All right. So let's establish who is the affirmative and who is the negative on this while I set my clock up, folks. So what position are you coming from? Brother Bernard, let me ask you.
I would be the negative.
All right. You're the negative. Therefore, you will be going first. Let me just get this. I hate doing this, man. So I got to do the clock tonight, y'all. So prepare for a very shitty timekeeping experience. Yeah, prepare for that. A very shitty timekeeping experience. All right. 7 minutes on the clock. Brother Bernard, you're up, sir. Pull the trigger.
Okay. The topic of the debate today is that if a man, or in particular, a black man, if he leads properly, a black woman will submit naturally. In order to make that claim, because that claim implies that a black woman's ability to conduct herself in a way that's conducive to a functioning, flourishing relationship is solely contingent upon what the man that she's in that relationship is doing. That's bullshit. The way that someone conducts themselves in a relationship is solely contingent upon their character and their personality. Their character and their personality is basically just a combination of their genetics and their upbringing, their nature and their nurture. And if their nature and their nurture come together to form a fucked up individual, that individual will grow up and behave fucked up in relationships. And that's more or less how it works. Bad people tend to be bad, good people tend to be good. And when bad people get in relationships, they tend to behave badly. Nobody would accept that argument the other way around, that if a man is lying, cheating, abusing a woman, and incompetent, a lying, cheating, abusing, incompetent jackass, but if only that woman were to, I don't know, cook, clean, properly iron his drawers, or properly perform oral sex, then he'll turn into a strong masculine leader. Nobody would make that argument the other way. So why are we to believe that if a woman is a argumentative, combative, bitchy, disrespectful woman, that if a man just gave the right leadership, well, she'll just go through a metamorphosis and turn into a Disney princess somehow? We will never accept that argument the other way around. So there's no reason that we should accept it now. But that's the argument that they have to make in order. They're accepting the premise, they're accepting the affirmative. They have to make that argument. In the event that leadership skills was the thing that they were looking for, because they're naturally submissive women, they're just looking for the right leadership. If that was the case, then leadership skills would be a prerequisite that they would have before they gave raw sexual access to a man. Seeing as a lot of women, black women in particular, for the sake of this debate, are given lots of raw sexual access to men who offering them nothing but dick and community semen, then it behooves me to even try to figure out why they would even try to even accept the debate and try to argue that if a man just had the proper leadership skills, that they would just submit naturally, when clearly on the sexual dating and mating market, there are things that clearly women, or in this case black women, put precedence over far more than leadership skills. And speaking of those leadership skills, there was a entire generation of women who more or less, let me get that right. Okay, there was an entire generation of women who more or less rejected male leadership. They didn't want male leadership. They burned bras in the streets fighting against ultimately resulted in male leadership. Households where men were leading, they burned bras in the streets. They didn't want that. They made it very clear that they didn't want that. But we are to believe that these women who made those decisions, and I know we're not talking about the same exact women today, but what we are in today is essentially the post-apocalyptic aftermath of those decisions that those women made. But we are to believe that those problems can be fixed. Those problems where women ran away from what amounted to male leadership, those problems can be fixed just with more leadership. They just so thirsty, just horny for leadership. And if they just got more leadership, all problems will be solved, even though they had that and it wasn't enough and they burned bras in the streets to fight away from it. But that's what they're arguing today. And I'm going to argue that they don't even believe their own argument, that it's just a deliberate gaslighting argument, and they know it, because they make arguments that refute the arguments that they're going to make today. They know that a woman being submissive is not contingent upon what the man in front of her is doing. Yes, he may put her best foot forward temporarily, but eventually the true character of an individual is going to come out, male or female. We know that. Therefore, The reason I say that they don't actually believe the arguments that they're going to make today, because when you listen to their other arguments, and they made these arguments on their show, they've talked about that downtrodden woman, that woman who's sort of like Celie from Color Purple. And that woman today in modern times, she's even working. She's working, she's paying bills, and she still has to come home to some man that she's submitting to, and she's still cooking and cleaning and spending more time with the kids. And she's just this downtrodden, abused woman from this guy who's not even doing half as much as her, but she's still just bending to his will. Why is she doing that? Because she's a submissive woman. And if that woman was to get with a good man who was a good leader, would she still be a submissive woman? Why? Because she's a submissive woman. And once you acknowledge that that woman exists, you have essentially then acknowledged that a woman being submissive is not contingent upon a man's leadership. You have admitted my initial premise that a woman's submissive nature just happens to be contingent upon whether or not that woman is just naturally a submissive woman. It's not based off what the man in front of her is doing. So they have all made arguments that refute the arguments that they're going to make today. So we're just going to sit here and listen to them make those arguments and trip over themselves like they always do, more or less. But to accept the premise of the arguments that are put forward here today, what it essentially amounts to is that women can't do anything wrong. Women can't be wrong, because you have to listen carefully to the title of the debate. If a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally. Now, a woman who's submitting naturally, well, she's not going to be out there, cheating on him with his friends. She's not going to be argumentative and combative. She's not going to be doing this. But if she does that, it must be something wrong with his leadership. But what if he's paying all the bills? She still walked out on him and did this. Well, he wasn't leading properly in some kind of way. He wasn't doing something right. It's a bullshit gaslighting argument that puts men in a perpetual state of tap dancing in a top hat while juggling on a unicycle, trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong? Why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? No, some women are combative bitches, and some women are sweet, feminine, and submissive. It is incumbent upon the man to get with a woman who is feminine and submissive. It is not incumbent upon a man to try to get with a woman who may not be submissive, who may be all kind of other things you don't want, but if you just lead properly, she will turn into that, because that's the natural zero steady state default nature of a woman to be that way. That is bullshit, and they know it. We all know it, and that's that. I'll end it right there.
All right. Some breaking news. You have been saved from my sorry timekeeping, because the official T.P.O.T timekeeper is in the house. My man K.I.T is here. We are saved. Ladies, you have 7 minutes. So I don't know how you ladies can divide it up however you want. 3 and 4, 3.5 by 3.5. Y'all can do it however you want.
3.5 by 3.5. That's fine.
Works for me. Peace, brother KIT. Glad you're here, man. Glad you're here, brother.
Oh yeah, sorry, I got caught up at work.
Don't worry about it. I'm so glad you're here, my brother.
Sister George, do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
7 minutes on the clock.
I guess I'll take a crack at it first.
Go ahead.
All right, 7 minutes on the clock. Breakdown. You are up, ladies. Pull the trigger.
Okay. The topic says that women are submissive to natural leadership. And so we have to look at other societies where women are deemed the most submissive and where the men are considered to be leaders. If you look at Asian cultures would definitely not be looked at as a matriarchy, but as a patriarchy. Asian men have no problem getting submissiveness from their women. Their women are deemed the most submissive. Asian men run their country, unlike black men. Black men are under another country's patriarchy, and so when we're under another country's patriarchy, women don't tend to be submissive to men who have to follow under somebody else's rules. Women do actually submit to natural leadership when men are in power. Men in this sector also admit when men are in power that women are more submissive. So I don't think that it's a gaslighting argument at all, because the men in our country, black men in this country, don't have the power in this country. White men have the power in this country. And if you actually look at the election, where white women did not vote with Hillary Clinton, white women actually voted with the men because the men were in power. So I think women do submit to natural leadership in total, not on an individual basis, but in a collective basis. I do believe that women submit to a patriarchy, and they do submit to natural leadership. Concrete, you can go, and then I'll go again.
Well, talking about proper leadership, I just want to point out a few things to make sure that to bring some clarity to the term of proper leadership. Proper leadership, because I think that gets confused in this space, requires a plethora of things that I'm not sure if the men in this space actually employ. Or not all of the men in this space, but some of the men who claim that they're leaders and that they're having trouble with women acquiescing to their leadership. Do you hold the principles of a leader? Are you a man of integrity? Are you an honest person? Are you a man that is providing for a woman, that's going to provide security and protection for that woman so that she doesn't have to look for that elsewhere? In addition, I do want to speak to the point that Black women are conditioned to lead, which speaks to the nurture piece of Bernard's argument. Black women aren't born being aggressive and being assertive and being combative. We are actually conditioned because of the environments that we're in and because of the lack of protection that we receive within our communities. We're conditioned to be, all of the negative things that are tied to us that take away from us being feminine and submissive. In addition to that, Bernard brought up the fact that, there were Black women, or he was alluding to Black women doing bra burning and displaying other forms of feminist behaviors. We're not the race that led the charge on that. Black women joined the feminist movement because they were in positions of leadership in their own homes, and they wanted to level the playing field. They were hoping to be able to compete with white men. It was not initially a strike against Black men, and the attack was not, towards Black men in the beginning. Women are being expected to do everything outside of the home that men do, and then to still come into the home and acquiesce to a non-existent leadership. We have to first be 100% clear about the qualities that a male leader would possess, and in order to have an argument about whether or not women would lead or women would submit to proper leadership. And I'll rest there.
Also, to back up Concrete's points about what it takes for a man to be a leader, if you're not seeing your men in leadership positions and you're actually taking on the roles as leaders, it's hard for a woman to submit to with someone that she's actually competing with. So you can't compete with your man and submit to him at the same time. We've been put in positions of competing with our men as opposed to working alongside our men, but we're actually competing with them. And if the women are running the homes and 66% are paying the majority of the bills at a certain age, then I don't think that's proper leadership. And so therefore a woman can't submit if she's actually the one leading the home and leading the society. If she has control over the councils, and if she's getting more positions of power within her city and state governments, then she's actually above the man in a certain direction. And so if women are in positions of leadership, then naturally women, you can't submit and have a woman lead at the same time. It doesn't make sense. So I like to rest there.
Really quickly, I just want to piggyback on something that you said in reference to a woman submitting. Two important factors that also have to be there for a woman to submit is a woman has to be able to depend on her mate. A woman also has to be able to recognize you as a leader. And as a Black woman, I want to say that seeing examples of male leadership within the Black community is far and few in between. In addition to that, the protection piece, just going back to that protection piece, if a woman does not feel protected, if she does not feel that her honor is being defended defended, and that if something happens to her, that she's going to have the men in her community or the men even in her home come to her defense, then how can she, why would she submit to you, and how can she respect you as the head? And I'll rest there.
All right. Are you ladies seating that time?
Yes.
Are you seating it?
We are.
Brother Bernard, do you want said seated time?
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, timekeeper, give me 5:31 on the clock, please, sir. We are now entering the rebuttal rounds. The rebuttal rounds are 5 minutes per debater. Brother Bernard, you are up, sir. Pull the trigger.
Okay. The debate that they accepted was if a black man or if a man leads, if a black man or hold on, let me make sure I get it right, because they kind of switched the title of the debate. If a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally, or if a black man leads properly, a black woman will submit naturally. Now they're trying to do the spin move that they always do and try to put it out there in collective fairy pixie dust land to where we never can really get down to the bottom of it. They talk about Asian men running their country and Asian women submitting and blah, blah, blah. Asian women are not considered the most submissive. They are considered the most feminine, but they're not considered the most submissive. There's a lot of Asian countries where the women are running amok and doing all kinds of stuff, but I'm not about to get too deep off into that. They made the another man's patriarchy argument. I've never heard nobody adequately explain what that means. And if you listen to the title of the debate, that if a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally, we're talking about interpersonal relationships. So it's not about what the universal monolithic collective of black men are doing, and whether or not they're doing enough for the universal hive-minded collective of black women to submit to that monolith of black men. No, we're talking about interpersonal relationships. So they're trying to do their first spin move or try to put it somewhere where we can't really put it on the ground. But either way it goes, in this country, which is a free country, the individual man that you're individually with, you don't have to submit to the group of black men, just like white women are not submitting to the group of white women are not submitting to the group of white men. They only got to submit to one individual white man, and they got to judge that individual white man on his individual merits. And the individual white man makes $50,000 a year. So the average white woman is in a submitted relationship to a construction worker, and it doesn't matter how many Senate seats that other white men hold that don't give a fuck about that construction worker. So, I mean, you're basically saying they're submitting to him because there are other white men that they will never see, feel, touch, or fuck, making policies that probably fuck him over in the long run, that they're submitted to him because of that, because they see old wrinkly white men at the damn sitting holding Senate seats in the House of Representatives. Like that's silly. That's silliness. This was about interpersonal relationships. So that part right there, that doesn't make any sense. And it really doesn't make any sense, because even if black men did have that type of power, even if black men were knocking it out the park like that, the average Joe black woman will still be with the average black man. And the average black man just makes $10,000 less than the average white man and makes more money than the average Hispanic man. So if you are a regular average woman with a regular average man, regardless of who's passing the laws and writing the bills, you would still have to submit to a regular average Joe black dude. And if you're not willing to do that now, you won't do it then. Even if Wakanda was built, you still wouldn't submit to the construction worker if you wouldn't do it now. So that is a BS argument. The universal collective of what the group is doing has nothing to do with you being an argumentative, combative, bitchy, disrespectful woman in your own house. So that was bullshit, and that was a spin move. They tried to talk about men in this space. These arguments don't got nothing to do with men in this space, because black women not being submissive predated Black Manosphere talking points. So to try to make it seem like Black Manosphere talking points has something to do with black women not being submissive, that's bullshit. That was another spin move. All right. Now, this is the interesting part. She made an excuse for why black women are not submissive. So if you're saying that there's reasons why black women are not submissive, but then on the other hand, you're saying that, oh, they will be submissive under if the man was leading properly, but they're not being submissive, and you're making an excuse as to why they're not being submissive. You're basically saying that woman, even when she gets the proper man, she's being argumentative, combative, bitchy, and disrespectful, and being all that. Oh, because she was trained not to be that way. So if you admit that, then you're rejecting the initial premise that you set out to prove in the debate. You're saying that she won't submit naturally if a man is leading properly, because she was brought up in a way to where she was brought up to be hard, rough, and tough. So you refuted your own argument right there, and I said that you were going to do that right when we started, and you did it. All right. She's saying you can't compete with somebody that you submit with. Okay, well, how does that competition look? The average white woman make about $40,000 a year. The average white man make about $50,000 a year. That sounds like they're competing. But y'all like to try to spin it and make it seem like all white men are owners and all white women are just floating on a little cloud of femininity. No, they have to work too. They have to bring income to their house. They have to be, they have to work. They have to bring resources to their house. They have to do the same thing that black women have to do. But they have all the same rights, liberties, and freedoms to be strong, independent. They don't need no man. They just want a man, so they just get with a man. And that man is more times than not just some regular, degular mustard stain on his shirt, plumber's crack when he bend over ass white man. But they understand the necessity of men, so they get with that man. And that 60% of paying the bills thing, that study was bullshit. And I debunked that on my show that it was bullshit because it said that 60% of black women between the age of 18, starting at 18 to 34, expect to pay 50% of the bills or more occasionally in a relationship. Yes, that's how it tends to work in America. It's normally the average man making around 50K, average woman somewhere below 40K. Yes, they put their money together and become middle class and they work together. And occasionally she have to pitch in and pay bills. That's typically how it works for all races. Other races was at 50%. Black women were at 60%, but they said expect to pay it occasionally. So that don't really mean shit.
Hello?
You ladies are up. Pull the trigger. 5 minutes on the clock.
Concrete, you want to go first?
Sure. I can start off.
Okay.
Okay. So, there is no expectation of group submission is what you were alluding to. We didn't pose that argument. We also didn't pose the argument that a man's bank account is the determining factor for whether or not a woman will submit. His ability to provide is essential. It's an essential requirement in order to gain submission from a woman. However, that is not the determining factor. Leadership in and of itself speaks to a man's character. And if a man loses his job tomorrow, that he still should be a leader and should still be viewed as the head of the household, and the amount of submission that he's receiving from his woman should not change if he is a proper leader. In addition to that, you talked about us referring to the men in the space. The reason that we refer to the men in the space because they are a sample size of what we see out in society at large. And a lot of these discussions that we're having with the men in this space. So, naturally, we brought about the talking points that we hear regurgitated and repeated in this space so often. In addition to that, there was no argument made that if a woman has a man displaying proper leadership, that she won't submit. In fact, we were actually saying the opposite. If a man is displaying proper leadership, a woman will submit and will acquiesce to, his demands. So we weren't making that argument. I'm not sure how you figure that was implied. You also, like I said, you kept bringing it back to income for some reason as a factor for women not submitting. But blue collar men who possess leadership skills, who make less than $50,000 a year, have wives who submit to them. So that is not the determining factor. That is not, in my opinion, that's not even the number one thing that is going to have a woman submitting to a man. I think that there's a such thing as faux submission, whereas a man who has a lot of money may come across a woman, and because he has something that she wants, she may be pretending to be feminine and submissive in order to get what she wants, but that's not her true character and her true nature. If he is not one who's displaying the proper character of a true leader, that submission will only will only be temporary. I'll yield and I'll let you go, Danny.
Okay. First of all, you said that you tried to make this about interpersonal relationships between black men and black women. Nowhere in the description, nowhere in the title did it say anything about black men or black women. So you're actually making that argument, but you actually have to make that argument be interpersonal because you know that black men aren't competing on the same levels as other men as it comes down to getting their women to submit. in what country do Asian women not considered the most feminine and submissive? That argument is made constantly within this space by men that are sitting in the chat right now. You have a lot of men that are going SYSBM because the other women are deemed more submissive. You spoke on you tried to say something about white women having to work alongside of their men. Yeah, white women do have to work alongside of their men, but white women do see their men in positions of leadership. If women are seeing their men in total in positions of leadership, they see their men in positions of power. When women see their men in positions of power, women do naturally acquiesce to leadership. We talked about the election, and while people will say that white women started feminism, and they did, they still naturally submitted to their leader, which was a white man, which is why they voted for Trump and didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, which is why Trump won the election. So I just think that women will submit to natural leadership and not anybody else's patriarchy. And I'm done.
All right. Well, we're going to do one more round, and then we're going to go into rapid fire. Ladies, are you seating this 37 seconds?
Yes, we will.
Brother Bernard, do you want it?
Yes, I do, but I need to clarify something before we go forward.
Okay.
Because the title of the debate, she's right that black wasn't put in there, but when you retitled the debate in the press release, you did put black in there. So we could take black out of there, but the title was firmly, and I could pull up the email and screen share it, the title was firmly, if a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally. So the operative word in there was a. If a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally. That means we are talking about interpersonal relationships, and y'all accepted debate on that term, but y'all are trying to put it out into who's running the country. So we need to get that clear before we go forward.
Well, because the title says if a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally. It doesn't say anything about black men. It says if a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally. So, I mean, if you want to make excuses because you're getting your ass kicked, that's fine. I get it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. No.
Save it for rapid fire.
The only thing that I'm trying to do is make it be exactly the title that we agreed on. Black don't have to be in there, but the title that we agreed on, if a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally. That's what we agreed on.
I understand you have to come up with excuses. I got you.
All right,
do what you got to do.
Okay. No. I know we about to screen share the email. We about to screen share the email.
I don't think that's necessary. We go.
We'll
go off of that premise. We'll go off of that premise.
No. Wait a minute. I don't just want you to go off of that premise. I want you to concede the point that that's the premise you agreed on.
That's not gonna happen.
Okay, we're not conceding to anything.
Okay, well then you're gonna have to read it, see it, and then lie to yourself.
Sorry, you can't tell us how to debate you.
I'm not telling you how to
make your argument, sir. You got 5 minutes and 37 seconds.
Okay,
do what you got to do, sir.
Hold on.
Will you break the tie? Will you break the tie in this discussion so we can make sure we're debating about the same thing?
So, okay. The agreed debate was a man, not necessarily a black man, right? Is that what we're arguing here? So we're arguing whether or not we're talking about specifically a black man. That's the argument.
Yes, it was if a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally.
So do I pull rank and have to pull the black out of it? That's what you want me to do?
No. You can take the black out of it. You can take the black out of it. What I was talking about is how they were moving the argument all the way out into the government, and white men have the most Senate seats and all of that. I just wanted to make, because she said that it had nothing to do with interpersonal relationships, but it was set up in a way where we are talking about interpersonal relationships.
What I don't try to do here in the Digital Squared Circle is tell people, what arguments to come up with or how
no.
They
They can argue whatever they want to argue.
You're allowed to say whatever you want.
That's fair.
I mean,
that's fair. They can argue whatever they
say
want to
whatever they
argue.
want. Yeah.
I just want to be clear about what the title and topic of the debate was, because they said it was something different than what I initially said. So I was just making sure we had that clear.
Yeah. Black was not in it. It wasn't black. There was no black in it per se. Specifically, it wasn't. I can say that much. Okay, so are we ready? We all square?
They were putting it to women will submit to natural leadership, but they were describing that natural leadership as the leadership of the country, thus bringing in Donald Trump and all kind of other stuff. But so they're doing that to deflect from the fuckery on the ground.
I mean, are you debating now? Or you
speak for itself?
Just let the argument speak for itself.
I'm ready. I was just making sure we had the debate title, but topic together. I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, 5:37 on the clock. Brother Bernard, pull the trigger.
All right. Now that I already addressed the title thing, I don't have to address that now. All right. She says that they didn't pose an argument about the group. That's what she actually said. But when I tried to get that group shit out of the discussion, she fought against that. Would mean she did pose an argument about the group. So she got caught in another backpedaling backstep thing right there. She said it has nothing to do with money in your bank account. But then when you say that, well, we're competing with our men. Well, how are you competing with them in a damn foot race? No, you met economically. More than likely, you met economically. So when you say that black women aren't submitting to men that they're competing with, yes, I mean, I would love for you to explain to me in what way did you not mean that you were competing with their man? And by that same logic, white women who are out striving, getting educated, more educated than black women, more educated than white men, and they're working hard every day. They're technically competing with their men too. They're competing for the same jobs as well. They're competing for those jobs. So I don't know what you mean, how that's a reason for you to say that black women shouldn't be submissive or compliant with a black man if other women in this free country where women make up the majority of the labor force, they're competing as well. All people who are getting the job are competing. So that argument is pretty much is BS. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't hold any water. When you talk about leadership speaks to character, okay, leadership speaks to character. So if you're arguing that black women will submit, black women, whatever the hell, will submit naturally to someone who leads properly, and that leadership is contingent upon character, then you should be able to easily make the point that black women are choosing based off character. They're getting with men based off character. They're staying with men based off character. If you can't make that argument, then you have to then you pretty much just said something that you knew wasn't true. Going forward, we talked about the income thing. I don't know how they're going to try to run from the income thing, and I don't know how they could try to say that they weren't talking about that. When you're saying you brought up plenty of times that black men are not doing this or not doing that. So all those things that you're saying that they're not doing, you got to be talking about their ability to provide and their ability to do this and their ability to do that. They talked about the protection thing, and that has something to do with a woman not being submissive, but that's an argument out of nowhere, because no man has argued that a woman that he's in a relationship with, that he's working hard for, that he's in that committed monogamous relationship with, no man has argued that he's not going to protect that woman. So that woman, if she's with that man in that relationship, she's protected. She's talking about the basically what's going on virally, how they argue that black women are unprotected, and I've already debunked that on my show, and I've made the arguments quite clear that black women are actually protected. When you look at the data, it's not that much of a difference between violence, rape, or anything happening against them. And black men hand out more street justice than any other men. Black women have goons on speed dial. Y'all have people that y'all can call up. So to try to make it seem like, oh, well, y'all are not submissive to the man that you're in a relationship with, because the universal hive-minded collective of black men are allegedly not protecting because you saw some viral videos of a black woman getting her head bust. That's bullshit. That's falling for propaganda. Another thing that they talked about when they talked about a man's positioning, they talking about the man's overall collective positioning. They're talking about white women voting for Donald Trump. That has nothing to do with the individual white man on the ground that she's in a relationship with, and whether or not she's being submissive to him, whether or not he's doing this or he's doing that, or whether or not Trump is in office or this person is in office. That's just a deflection argument that they bring out all the time to try to make excuses for the fuckery that they're doing on the ground in the interpersonal relationship that they're with. It doesn't matter if when Barack Obama was in office, black women didn't act any better to the individual black man that they are with. So I don't know what makes you think that a white woman with a construction worker is going to act any better because Donald Trump is in office. And that white man, that individual white man, he has no power. He's just a dude. If he's a Bernie Sanders supporter, he's voting for stuff that will ultimately allow more illegal immigrants in here. And he's voting for stuff that's to other white men who are voting a different way, that they look at that as damn near an act of war. Like they're losing the country because of that. But only thing that individual white man on the ground has is one damn vote in a job where he's working for another man. So if that one white man on the ground, all he has is one fucking vote in one job where he's working for another man, and that's enough for his woman to be more compliant to him, even though the shit that he's voting for is not happening if the right person doesn't win, then what power does he have? So when you say that they're submitting to power, no, they're just submitting to a dude with a job. But for some reason, a black man just can't be a man with a job who's working hard, providing for his family. Why? Black men don't hold enough Senate seats. Therefore, you got full creative control to be an argumentative, combative, bitchy, disrespectful woman because you're not seeing enough black men in the House of Representatives. That's bullshit. So when you talk about black women not being submissive and you're talking about the government and who runs the country and whether or not 13% of the rather not black men who make up 6% of the country can occupy 6% of the Senate seats, would that make you turn around and act different? I don't think so. So at the end of the day, the whole argument is bullshit. If you're not behaving correctly right now, if a black woman is not behaving correctly right now for the black man that she's with, what's going on in the House and the Senate don't have shit to do with that.
All right, 5 minutes on the clock, timekeeper. This is going to be the last of the rebuttals. After this, we go into rapid fire. 5 minutes on the clock. The breakdown. You are up, ladies. Pull the trigger.
Okay. Does Bernard actually know what proper leadership is? Because Bernard keeps speaking to interpersonal relationships and on individual basis. Of course, if you have somebody that's not a proper leader, no woman is going to submit to a man that's not a proper leader if she doesn't deem him a proper leader. So I have to question Bernard's definition on what proper leadership is. If you have a collective leadership or men that are seen as a collective power and their women are submitting to them, their women are staying with them, their women are not fighting against them, then that would be women submitting to proper leadership. Black people are deemed as the poorest people within the United States. We live in the worst areas that we've messed up. And so when Black people are living in the worst areas, we have the most crime within the United States. Then I have to ask, I don't believe women are going to submit to men that they don't deem in power. If you're looking at collective groups of people, and you have examples of collective groups of people, these men don't complain about getting their women to submit. I've never heard Asian men on a collective complain about women submitting to them because they run a strong patriarchy. Unlike Black people within the United States don't run a strong patriarchy because we're under somebody else's dime. Concrete, I'll let you go.
Okay, so when I brought up group submission, I was speaking of group submission like men continually like to argue, the types of group submission that men continually like to argue that they are due. The men in this space constantly make those arguments. In addition, white women are competing for for jobs as well, but their men are in positions of power to open doors for them, to offer them jobs and or to promote them from within. You keep misstating my arguments. I did not say that Black women are getting with men based on character. I did not imply that they're getting with men based on character. I said it's a shortage of leadership and proper character that would be tied to leadership being displayed. And you made quite an assumption. You said that you were assuming that Black women are protected in the relationships that they're in, and you said that basically we were misstating information, or we were basically misstating the stats as it relates to Black women not being protected. But there are stats that show that Black women are Black women suffer higher incidence of abuse in the relationships that they're in, the relationships that you talked about that they're protected in, than any other group. So I think that's a misstatement on your part. Also, I think that if more men embodied the principles of integrity and displayed true leadership, black women would have viable leaders to choose from, and we would see more examples of Black women submitting to proper leadership. We can't submit to leadership that we don't see. We can't submit to something that is not there. If we see very few examples of proper leadership being displayed, even going back to our fathers and the older men and older generations, then we don't know. Some of us don't even know how to identify proper leadership, and we certainly don't see it enough as to where we have someone to choose. We have a partner that we could choose that knows how to lead, so that we can submit in the way in which would be deemed proper. And that's all I have. I'll see.
Okay. There were arguments made on your show about how women voted Democrat and how white women voted Republican. White women voted Republican because it was a man in leadership and it was a man in power. White women did not vote for Hillary Clinton to be president because they don't want a woman leading the country. So other women submit to natural leadership. Black women will actually submit to natural leadership when people are actually deemed as proper leaders as a collective. The collective does submit. I don't think you're making a great argument talking about interpersonal relationships, because like I said, if a woman is actually competing with her man, then yes, she's not going to submit to somebody that she has to compete with. If Black women are becoming the most educated, it's said that Black women are the most educated in the country. Black women are also seen as the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in this country as well. So you can't compete with if you can't submit if you're having to compete.
All right, that is going to do it for the rebuttal round. Now we go into rapid fire. Rapid fire, there's no timekeeper, there's no clock. The debaters engage directly. We left off with the breakdown. So, Brother Bernard, you are up, sir. Rapid fire. Pull the trigger.
Of course, we can't hear him.
You muted, Brother Bernard. You muted, brother.
There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Where do I start? I remember you said that Asian men don't complain about women submitting in their culture because they run and they lead their culture. And they run and they lead their culture. Then you said that white men run and lead this culture. Yet there's plenty of white men that complain about white women not being submissive. So how do you explain that?
Not as a collective. A collective would be the majority. The majority of white men don't complain about white women not submitting to them.
The majority of white men get divorced. They get divorced majority of the time.
And but it's not about
that's a different
submission.
point altogether.
That is absolutely a different point. It's not about submission. White men complain when women take them to the cleaners. They complain about men's rights, but they don't complain about getting a woman to do what they say. They don't complain about submission. Not in total.
No, I don't buy that, because it wouldn't be a white manosphere if it wasn't white men complaining about similar things, because in this free country, women are free to do. Hold on. In this free country, women are free to do what they want to do, and what we are watching is women responding to their freedom, and they respond in different ways. So you can't really sit here and say that it's about men running the country or not running the country. White women, and you said that Black women are the most educated. That's not true. I debunked that on my channel already. It's something like 21% of Black women have bachelor's degrees, or something like 34% of white women.
It's the fastest growing group.
That fastest growing. Okay, if you are at the bottom, and then you start getting better, then it's faster growing. Like the team that won.
But guess who's beneath
the team that won 2 games last year, if they win 4 games, they had a
Black men,
they had a 200% increase
in that category.
What did you say?
Black men are beneath black women. They have a lower percentage than black women in that category.
Yes, and Hispanic women are more educated than Hispanic men. White women are more educated than white men. Asian women, stop. Asian women are more educated than Asian men. Why aren't they having this conversation? Why aren't they waving their dick around about it like y'all doing?
Because they are in positions of power, positions of leadership.
They have other ways.
Hispanic men are in position of power?
Say again?
You said Hispanic men are in position of power?
Over their women,
They
yes.
own their businesses there, but within their community.
Hold on, okay, all right. Okay, so if every Hispanic business, god damn it, hold on, I'm gonna have to fuck around with my camera. If every Hispanic business right now tried to do everything they can to employ as many Hispanic people as possible, they only could employ 8% of their people. So you can't really make that, and that's on Black.
And how many could black men employ?
Hispanic businesses are not Hispanic businesses are not even reported. Like, do you know how many Hispanic business you can't there's no true statistics on that because there are a plethora of Hispanic businesses.
So right now you're counting an off the record pickle picking business as some Hispanic business.
No.
But you won't accept that from black men. If we say, oh, we got businesses too, I be cutting grass. I got a lawnmower.
But the difference is
that is a legitimate business.
But the difference is
business with Hispanic men.
They have an intact culture. We don't. So that is also a reason.
Okay, so now you're talking about an intact culture. So I'll take that as a concession of defeat for your original.
No, it's
I'm
actually
adding
not.
To the original point.
And if you can't bring up Hispanic men, let's talk about Asian men. Asian men employ their own. They own their thing. They own most of their businesses. The women do submit to them. Asian men are seen as men in power. How can you debunk that? Because you don't have an argument.
Let me make it very clear. Asian men are kicking ass, but in this free country, Asian women date out more than any other women. So there's that. But
even
Asian
if you want to use another black,
doesn't matter.
We don't hear Nigerians. We don't hear Nigerians having the complaints about women acquiescing to their leadership and to their power.
Because their women probably are not as much of some argumentative, combative, bitchy, disrespectful women on the internet making every excuse to not be submissive.
Oh, that's what it is, huh?
Yeah, y'all bending over backwards. Y'all are bending over backwards to cape for some fuckery that y'all allegedly don't engage in.
Sir, it's a debate. Exactly. What are you talking about?
Now he's personalizing it. Here we go. Let's stick to the point.
Oh no! I said no. Okay, that's fair. I said y'all allegedly don't engage in. I'll say that y'all don't engage in. Okay, we'll go back there. Okay, let me pull out something else on my list. I was writing shit down when y'all was talking. How did this group submission work? I want you to explain that, because I was making an argument for group submission. I want to know, how does that
Bernard, let's not act like you haven't heard the argument that black women don't submit to black men as a group. That's why there's not group protection for black women, because they don't submit and respect.
I don't make that argument.
Collective of, you may not make it, but I'm saying don't act like it's a foreign argument to you that you have no idea where it came from, that I'm just pulling it out the sky.
He's never heard of that before, Concrete.
Right.
In the black manosphere, he's never heard that before.
When people have tried to bring up group submission on my show, and if they worded it the way that you worded it, I normally debunked it and shut them down, and they couldn't make that argument no more. So there's that.
So do you believe that group submission? Do you believe that group submission, that other groups have a thing called group submission? Do you think that you can go into a white community or an Asian community and attack one of their women and nothing will happen?
You, for the most part, can't do that in our community, but of course you're going to point to some viral videos. And I've seen viral videos. I've seen viral videos, and I'll do content on this. A black man beat the shit out of a white woman in front of some white men. They did something.
Yeah, that's the exception. But
okay, then how do you know that the once a month video where a black woman get her head bust and that, how you know that's not the exception? Just because our videos go more viral because we get all wrapped up in this oppression porn. Oh, look at what they're doing to us.
I get it, because of the emotionality of it. But that's not the argument that I'm making. I'm simply saying that, and it may be something that I don't believe that it's something that happens frequently. So I will concede that. But the men in this space back and support men who do not protect black women, because they say black women do not submit to black men as a collective. So I'm hearing from hundreds of men who say they don't believe black women should be afforded protection because they don't submit to the group.
Okay, and
great point, Concrete.
and I want to make this very clear. I'm not reaching across the aisle right now for the sake of the debate. I literally made I did a stream talking about black women not being protected, and I argued that most black men, if they see a woman minding her own business and somebody jump out the bushes on her, most black men are going to do something. I think a lot of this is talking points, gender war talking points run amok. I've argued that on my show, so I don't really buy that whole not protection thing. I think most men are going to react, but I think in this online space, the back and forth talking points goes wild because you're really not even talking about protection. You're talking about reaction in the unlikely event that some shit goes down. Like none of y'all can tell me about the time that y'all got stumped out by a group of white men and black men just sat there whistling. Y'all can't tell me about the time that happened. It doesn't happen that much. I mean, it barely happens at all. Like white men are afraid to come in black neighborhoods.
Can you take a breath and let one of us talk? Jesus Christ. So, Bernard,
and then I was going to let you go.
So Bernard, you've never heard black men complaining about submission on a collective level. You've never heard of that.
I've heard them talking about black women not being submissive. I never interpreted
as a collective, right?
I don't know how that works because a woman that I don't know is not supposed to submit to me. Now she should give general respect. That's about as much as I'm expecting right there.
That wasn't my question. My question was, have you heard black men complain about black women not submitting on a collective level?
Not really, not that much. Because
you've heard it within this space though, right?
The times that I heard it, I refuted it.
Okay, so
I heard it about twice. Let me just put it out there. I heard it about twice, and each time that it happened,
you must be new here.
No, I'm not new here. There are some. Okay, let me make sure I make this very clear. There are some people that do make bad arguments. Okay, when we're talking about black women not being submissive, we're talking about a black woman, submitting naturally if a man leads properly. We're talking about black women not being submissive. That's something that predates these talking points to the point to where I don't even know why you're going to narrow it down to men in this space. I understand that. I don't even want to say
it's a sample size. Look at the chat right now. You'll see 25 to 30% of the chat is backing that black men should not be protecting black women. Like,
that's
right.
That's the space, and I ain't here to defend these niggas. I'm here to defend the premise.
But you actually brought up the space. But you wait a minute, because you're using the space at your leisure. You're using the space in one point to back your points, and then you're saying that you're not going to use the space.
I'm not using
when the space is actually a microcosm of the black community. As a matter of fact, you've said that on your show yourself.
No, I didn't.
You just recently said that.
I did not say that. I literally did not say that. I wouldn't even say that because I have always argued that this space is exaggerated to what it really is. But we're here to debate whether or not a woman will submit properly. If a man leads if a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally. I don't have to explain or justify why so and so in the chat won't protect a woman if somebody jump out the bushes on her. I don't have to defend that in order to explain why black women are not submitting to the man that they're actually in a relationship with. That's the spin move that y'all trying to pull on here, and that's not going to work.
That's not the spin move, but when we talk, that wasn't a spin move. That's not what, neither one of us were trying to evade you receiving a point by bringing up something that was not relevant. We are in this space, so I think that it's relevant to talk about the people in this space. And especially when we have tons of examples. I'm about to tweak my camera real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, and I want to talk about another point you made, so I'll let you do that.
Don't say nothing because I can't hear you.
Lord have mercy. He got these.
I've been talking about me and my bootleg sound.
Had to get up and play around with my camera.
Okay, well, Bernard, I want to talk about another point that you kept referring to.
Hey, quit all that rambling when I couldn't hear. Okay, I got my.
I want to talk about another point that you kept bringing up, and that is you kept taking it to the income, and I don't know how that wasn't implied by either one of us. Neither one of us even brought up the point of
when you said
man's income being a determining factor for whether or not a woman will submit naturally.
When you said you can't submit to a man because you're competing with him, what did you mean?
actually, I was the one who brought up that point. And what I'm saying to you is if women aren't seeing their men's in positions of power, and it's basically survival of the fittest for women, because Black women are the least married, we are the there are sites that have said that Black women are the least desired. So Black women do have to compete with their men. Black women are in positions to compete as opposed to submit to them. So to me, I don't believe that.
What do you mean? What do you mean by compete? You just you
I'm saying
back
if we're competing for the same jobs, if we're competing for the same
so
jobs,
you are talking about money.
But that doesn't mean that listen, she's saying competing for the same jobs. And that has nothing to do with income level. Like, you're conflating two things. That has nothing to do with income level. You can own a car wash on the corner and be making $20,000 a year, but you still have the ability to employ someone. So saying that, if we're competing for, I'm sorry.
I already debunked the employ someone thing, because when we talk about Hispanic men that make less money than Black men, and y'all said, well, they can employ their women. I said they only can employ 8% of their people.
Yeah, but you're still in a position.
Hold on. How are they in a position of power? They can't employ anybody.
You have the ability to employ someone, despite the fact that you may not be able to employ as many people as someone who's running a Fortune 500 company. You still have power.
An excruciatingly small percentage of men actually have vertical businesses where they have employees. So to use that as one of the prerequisites for submission is a bunch of bullshit. You're really saying only 3% of the men are worthy of submission if you're going to make that argument. I know you're not saying that, are you?
That's so only 3% of the men in this country own businesses and employ someone.
Own vertical businesses where they're really employing people and moving the needle on employment. Again, we talked about the Hispanic pickle picking business does not count, because you wouldn't accept some Black lawn care business as something that shows Black men are building. So you're not going to make that argument when it comes to Filipino pickle pickers.
So even if they don't personally own it, we see them and they have enough power. They're on executive boards. They're in executive positions. There's a ton of nepotism within those corporations because they're hiring people that they know, family members. They're promoting people that they know and that they like, that look like them.
Okay, so tell me, how does that make the individual Hispanic woman that gets with an individual Hispanic man who's just a dude who has a job, who works for another man, how does that make her submit to him any more or less than the Black woman who submits to the average? Let me finish. To submit to him any more or less to the average Black man that he's in a relationship with, who's just a regular dude with a job that works for another man who makes more than that Hispanic man. What makes her submit more? And keep in mind, this conversation is predicated off what Sister George said when she said that we have to compete with our men.
Okay, so if you're seeing that your men are in positions of power, so the Asian man works for the Asian man, the white man works for the white man, the Black man works for the white man, the Black man works for the Asian man, the Black man works for the Arab man, the Black man works for everybody but himself. The Black man doesn't employ himself the way other cultures employ their own people. So when white women, when white women, Hispanic women, Asian women, Jewish women see their men employing each other, that is still groupthink. That is still group submission. That is how groups of women submit to their men, because they're actually seeing their men in positions of power. And you're talking about a lawn care business and saying that, okay, you might know about two or three lawn care people, but you might know about 5 people who pick pickles or whatever your argument was. So if
that was your argument. That was your argument. Y'all said the
small business.
Y'all said the Hispanic businesses are undocumented.
Yeah, but if they're still, but the bigger argument is they're seeing their men employ their own men, so they're seeing their men in positions of power
at a very small rate. Okay. A very small percentage of men in the group have power. Y'all are acting like it's socialism in this country. This is capitalism. So when you talk about the white man employing the white man, you're talking about a small percentage of them at the top that own over 50% of the wealth in this country.
But they're still in executive leadership in large numbers.
The average Joe white woman does not get to see, feel, touch, or fuck the guy who owns these big ass businesses. They get in a relationship with a regular Joe.
Bernard, you're missing the point, though. You're missing the point. You're talking about solely about ownership.
I'm not missing the point.
What about?
Wait a minute. I'm not I'm not missing the point. I'm saying the point is a bad point, because if black men all of a sudden own 6% of the wealth in this country, what would that end up doing? And take the average black man from making $40,000 a year to $50,000 a year? Are you honestly saying that the average black woman on the ground is $10,000 away from submission?
You're still focusing on income solely. Like, there is power to be had when you're in a position where you can make executive decisions on a business. And there's, I think
the average woman is not
70% of executive leadership is white male.
The average white woman is not with some white guy who owns some executive position. If you're saying that the white women who got what it takes to get some big corporate executive white guy who has actual power and actually controls shit in this country, then by all means, she better damn well submit to him. The argument that I'm making is that the average, the argument that I'm making is that the average white woman is with some regular 50K mustard stain on the t-shirt, plumber's crack when he bend over white man, and she's giving him submission and cooperation. If they can do that,
but white guy
stop. If they can do that for that regular white dude, a black woman should be able to do that for a regular black dude with a job.
Okay, so Bernard, you can't talk the whole time. You're gonna have to get to a point today.
I want to finish my point.
Let him finish
today.
Finish my point. So the black man who works for a company and he's making that regular money, that 50K. Are you seriously telling me if all of a sudden, if Robert Smith bought out that company and now the man who owns the company that he works for is now a black man, are you telling me that his black woman, who's an argumentative, combative, bitchy, disrespectful woman, is going to say, wow, you work for a black man? Let me act like I got some fucking sense.
You're missing the point. That man with the plumber's crack, with snaggle tooth, fat belly hanging over his pants, can walk into an office with you, interview for the exact same positions where you're dressed to the nines, and get the position over you because there's somebody white, a white executive making those decisions. That's what you don't understand.
Now you got to explain, then why is it that only 72% of white men are in the labor force and 68% of black men are in the labor force? If that was the case, white men would be the most employed.
Okay, and out of that percentage, what percentage of the workforce of executive leadership is white males?
It doesn't matter about the executive.
It does matter.
It absolutely does matter. It absolutely does matter.
It matters in a certain context. It has nothing.
Okay, so you concede that it matters, though.
In this context, it matters.
Yeah, it matters.
It matters in a certain context. It does not matter in the context of submitting to the man that you actually qualify for. You qualify for a regular dude. If we built Wakanda today, you would still be with a regular nigga making regular money. So
yeah, but if that regular dude does not have the leadership skills, then that's why he's not getting submission. It doesn't even matter if he's making $20,000 or if he's making $120,000. If he does not have characteristics that are specific of a leader, that's why he's not getting natural submission from the woman in his life.
Okay, so now you just I take it as you just conceded defeat on that initial argument.
No, because that's what I was saying all along.
And now you're saying that
I said that from the beginning.
I know, but you're circling back to the character thing. He has to have good character. And now I will circle back to what I said. Are you telling me that black women are making active decisions to be with men based off character? We recently had a
no, because there's not enough examples of men with leadership that employ leadership skills with good character that for women to choose.
Okay, so you're telling me that most black women, if they have two guys in their hand, one with good character, one with questionable character, they're always going to go with the one with more character because they just
don't speak in absolute, so I'm not going to say they're always going to go with the one with good character.
Do you think they more times than other women tend to choose the person with good character or bad character?
I think that if you have two men in front of them, both with one with good character that possesses leadership skills, that the woman would opt to choose that person over the one without good character. And
okay,
that does not possess leadership.
So you're telling me now that they are essentially basically just longing for leadership skills. So if there's less leadership,
naturally, no, because we can also make the anthropology argument. Women submit to what she deems as an alpha male. And if you're saying that women don't submit to alpha men, whether it's pseudo alpha, then what's the point of the manosphere?
Okay,
Manosphere has been making these same arguments for years upon years. The arguments have been made before that. Women submit to what they deem as alpha.
Right.
And alpha is deemed as leadership. So she's going to submit to what she deems as alpha.
Okay, and she's okay. Good. I'm glad you said that, because y'all circled it back to the leadership skills. So are you seriously saying that women are making leadership skills as a prerequisite before they give a man?
No one said that. No one said that. No one said that. No one
your argument implies that. No, your argument implies.
No. I said there's not enough men who embody.
Cutting me off because y'all know this is the nail in the coffin.
No, because that's not what we were implying.
You talked for 20 minutes. You talked for 20 minutes straight.
You're misstating our arguments. No one is implying that, because I said that there's not enough examples of leadership and men who embody leadership skills for women to choose from, period.
You said no. Actually, you said they don't know what leadership look like. You
said some of them don't know what leadership looks like because they haven't seen the live examples of it. Yes,
okay, but you came on here to make an argument that if a man leads properly, that a woman will submit naturally. But then you just admitted that black women don't know what proper leadership even looks like.
There's not enough examples within our community for some of us to see what it looks like.
But if they will submit to something that you admit that they don't.
Okay, well, this is the thing here too. But this is the thing here too. We all can agree that women will submit to what they deem as alpha, and alphas are usually seen as leaders. Correct, Bernard?
It depends on that.
But you had already conceded to women submitting. Exactly. You already conceded that women will submit to alpha.
Hold on. I think a leader is definitely alpha if he's leading in a way that's surrounded around productivity.
So are you conceding?
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that black women can sit here with a straight face and say that they look at productivity as alpha. We would not have had a Pookie and Ray Ray versus Educated Lane debate if black women saw productivity as alpha. The mere fact that more black women was on the side of the Pookies in that debate shows that y'all don't see productivity.
Productivity is not necessarily alpha.
Exactly.
And then y'all just lost.
No, we did not just lose.
I said it's not productivity. What do you mean? Just because you're a productive man does not mean you're an alpha. Come on, look around. Look where you at.
I know, but y'all
you can be a productive man working for somebody else, but you're working
and embody all kind of feminine energy. Come on, seriously, that does not mean that you're an alpha.
This is why y'all just basically conceded defeat. Okay?
We didn't concede anything, Bernard. You conceded when you tried to make it about interpersonal relationships. That's when you conceded defeat. You made it about interpersonal relationships because you know black men are competing with other races of men as a collective on a grand scale.
Okay, you done? Okay, good. This is how y'all just lost. Okay, y'all started out talking about men doing the things that men are supposed to do, and that's what a woman will submit to. A man being productive is literally the most important thing that a man can do. Then y'all turned around and said that that a woman was going to submit to what she sees as alpha. I turned around and said, I see productivity as alpha. And y'all said, well, that's not necessarily alpha, which means
that's not the only trait. That's not the only trait. You also I know productive men that are the biggest wusses. They cannot provide protection and security. Protection and security are vital to a woman. So if you can't provide that, you can be productive all day, but she's not going to see you as alpha or a leader.
You basically just submit.
And she won't submit to somebody even if he's productive. She may not necessarily submit to that.
Security and protection. Stop it.
Exactly.
Y'all basically admitted that black women submit to a bunch of
basically admit to.
We didn't make it.
Yes, y'all did. Y'all admitted.
Bernard,
stop.
Bernard,
submit to alpha, swag, mouthpiece, all that shit. Y'all basically Bernard. I said about productive men build shit that run businesses.
Bernard, Bernard, we already agreed that most women we agreed that most women submitted to power. You also agreed that women submit to power. So if men are in power positions of leadership, if they're in power, women submit to power. Bernard, what are you talking about? And it doesn't matter what kind of power. Women submit to power, period. Period. So you
And
can't
being
sit here and
productive
make
does not mean that you're
in a
powerful.
position of
Does
power.
not automatically mean
Exactly.
that you're in a position of power. So
Exactly.
Say that last part again. Say that last part again.
being productive does not mean that you're automatically in a position of power.
I agree. That has been my argument, and that has been my that's my argument when y'all try to talk about us, when y'all basically are trumping up other men who are regular men who
We're
got
not trumping up anybody. We're saying what it is. It's a debate.
Men who got regular jobs that other women submit to. Those men are not in any position of power. But y'all saying just because Hispanic men can employ 8% of
they
their
belong to a group that's in a position of power.
Okay, the Hispanic man can employ 8% of their people if they really tried, and they still make less.
You keep taking it back to that.
They still make less money than black men.
But you can only take it to Hispanic men, but you're not taking it to Jewish men.
No, Jewish men and Asian men, they are.
You're not. You can't bring that argument to them and say their women are not submissive.
I lived in a sanctuary city for 8 years. I can tell you these Hispanic men, like, they're not doing too bad, and they can employ more than just 2 and 3 people.
We ever see there's a thing called data, and the data shows that
the data is not linked. You can't quantify jobs that aren't listed with the government. How can you quantify it if they don't have an LLC, if they don't have an EIN?
Okay, now you just circle back to them being in power because they got some off the record pickle picking business.
Nah, that's what you want to relegate it to. But
talk about the people that's in position of power without the pickle picking business. Talk about the men that are legal within this country that get submission from their women, that don't complain about submission from their women, don't complain about protecting their women. Black men are the only people that complain about the protection of their women or protecting their women. Black men are also the ones that complain the most about not getting submission from their women. But black men are also in the least power in this country. And the least power in this country. We're the lowest in everything in this country. So we can't complain.
Black men are more educated and make more money than Hispanic men, but their women are not on the internet having this bullshit ass conversation.
Sir, we were invited to a debate.
Spanish internet?
Oh no, y'all have this discussion on your show. We can go down your catalog. Y'all have this discussion, debate or not debate. So you can't blame it on the debate. And you have this discussion anyway.
Sir, you have these same discussions.
I came up with this topic because it's a topic that y'all have on y'all show.
Wait, you came up with this topic? Wow.
Oh yeah, and that's why I was mad when y'all.
Wow.
Wow.
So you came up with a topic, and then you're talking about us actually arguing when it's a debate.
Whooped on it,
wow.
Like,
right.
How much sense does that make? You had a leg up on us and still got beat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you did. You had to cry. You had to sit up there and cry to T.P.O.T. T.P.O.T. They bringing up black men. They not talking about interpersonal relationships.
Shit. My opening speech kicked y'all ass so far in the hole to where y'all.
Wow. You actually brought up a debate and then got beat, and then you had to cry because you were losing. This is gold.
It's the topic of the debate because on the merits of what the actual debate was about, y'all couldn't win. That's what happened. Game over.
Sure, Bernard. Anything to make you feel better, Pumpkin. Him can win the debate, so you have to just let him win.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
That's going to end the rapid fire round, folks. So now we go into closing statements. Can I get 7 minutes on the clock? Timekeeper, please. We let off with opening statements with Brother Bernard. So the breakdown, ladies, you are up. Closing statements. Pull the trigger.
Go ahead, Concrete.
Why are you going to put me on the spot like that? I guess I'll just reiterate several of the points that we've discussed tonight. This was a very interesting debate. I would like to say, I think that we kind of tackled several of Bernard's arguments in our rebuttals. Bernard tried to misstate our facts several times several times in order to win the argument. And to me, that was kind of like him conceding. He didn't have anything else that he could use to rebut the facts that we laid out. So he misstated our arguments by saying that, we were focusing on income, which is what he continued to bring it back to. And I understand, because I know that that's a point of contention for Black men. So he kept relegating it to income, even though we were talking about the power dynamic in this country. And, as opposed to focusing on that, he wanted to talk about the actual amount of money that Black men have in their bank accounts, and act as if that's what we were limiting it to by saying that, because Black men don't make XYZ, Black women aren't submitting to them. In addition to that argument, he also wanted to gloss over the argument that is constantly had in the space regarding group submission, regarding the fact that Black women are not submitting as a collective to the collective of Black men. Hence, they're not receiving protection. They're not receiving security. Black men are not going to be in Black women's corner as a result. There's constantly arguments made that are related to Black women and the way in which they vote, and showing that, Black men and Black women are on two totally different playing fields, and Black women and the Black community is basically left to fend for itself. He didn't want to speak about that. He tried to act as though, we were, relegating it just to this space, when that's not something that happens out in the real world, or it's not something that he sees in everyday life. Nonetheless, as I said, I think that this was a good spirited debate. I enjoyed it. I do think that, the points that we made and that we laid out were still more sound than the arguments that Bernard made, and I'll see you there.
I wanted to bring up the point that Bernard actually was the one to come up with this topic. And so when you have a debate, you have an affirmative and a negative. And so Bernard chose to take the negative stance in this debate. If we had chose to take the negative stance in this debate, we probably would have made some of the same arguments that Bernard has. So for those who don't know what a debate is, you do have to have somebody arguing against the same things, or for the same, or for a topic. So that's what a debate is, for the people who in the chat who don't know. Like we said, women do submit to natural leadership. We have definitely seen this in other examples of other races of men. We've seen this in other cultures of men, and it's just American men who have a problem with getting submission from Black women. We don't hear about men in Africa having problems with getting women to submit, because men in Africa are actually in positions of power. We also talked about how submission is absolutely contingent upon the environment. Being that Black people are in the lowest positions of power, I think that is one of the main reasons that they do have problems with group submission. We talked about how white men run a patriarchy in this country. We also talked about how other men have they employ their own men. We also talked about how Black men have to go and work for other men, as opposed to collectively owning businesses and employing their own people, so their women can see them in positions of power. We talked about how Black women were the most educated, and they have the fastest growing businesses within the United States. We also talked about how Black women have to compete with their men. So if they're working for the same people, if we're both working for white men and we're having to compete for the white man's job, then that is definitely us competing to each other, and not being hired under a Black man's leadership and under a Black man's power structure. So when you have Black women that have to work under a white man's power structure, Black men also make these arguments that Black women are more submissive to their white bosses than to Black men. It's because we're under another man's power structure, which is why women do submit to power structures. We talked about alpha men, and that women will submit naturally to what they deem as alpha. Bernard also conceded to that point. I think this was a great debate. Thank you so much for having us. And Concrete, if you have anything else.
Yeah, I want to chime in on a few points. Well, you just brought up the point that, the men in the space, or you've heard men say that Black women submit to their white bosses over submitting to the man that is leading their household. That right there shows you that Black women do not have a problem with submission. That, and the fact that we don't see groups of white men who date Black women having these discussions about how difficult it is to get a Black woman to submit to them. In addition, I did want to reiterate that point about this being a debate. Some of the people in the chat seem to think that this is our true stance and how we feel. And, we're defending these points because we're feminists and because this is our typical rhetoric. Yes, you can go down the line and look at the streams that we've done. Do not judge just by the title, because oftentimes the title may be to draw you in, but we're taking an opposite position when we formulate our arguments in the beginning of our streams. In the spirit of the debate, we didn't know which side we would have to take. So even though we outlined what we wanted to talk about, we didn't know if he was going to take the affirmative or the negative. So in the spirit of the debate, we did come up with arguments to combat the arguments that Bernard laid out. And that's all I'll cede the floor.
All right, Brother Bernard, 7 minutes on the clock. Closing statements. You are up, sir. Pull the trigger.
Okay, hopefully somebody will correct me on this, because I do believe I just heard them say that they don't believe the stuff that they just said. They really don't believe that or hold these positions. Basically, they was just bullshitting.
Bernard.
What? My time. I think I heard that right. I think they just said they were just bullshitting. But anyway, all right. Here we go. They keep saying it wasn't about income. Then when I tried to hold their feet to the fire about that, because they said it wasn't about income, but then they said they have to compete with their men. I said, compete how? Then they went right back to saying, oh, compete with jobs. Okay, jobs pay money. Money is income. So when you said you have to compete with your man, you have to compete as far as income. And by that same logic, every woman has to compete with their man in a capitalist society. White women are just as employed as white men. They have to go to work. They have to compete. They trying to fight up. They saying the same shit. We need more women in high executive positions, more women here, more women there. They're fighting and competing with their men for jobs. They're lower level jobs, call center jobs, high up jobs. They're competing. All women are competing, and women make up 50%, 51% of the labor force. So it is just outright just trying to be nice, stupid to try to say, but we have to compete with our man. Every fucking body does in a capitalist society. That's a capitalist post-feminist society. Yes, women have to compete with men. That's sort of the idea. I didn't make that rule. Black men didn't make that rule, and Black women aren't the only ones subjected to that rule, but you're the only ones still complaining about that rule. All right. When I disproved the income thing, when I basically debunked them on that one, then they said, oh, wait, no, submitting isn't about having to compete in income. Submitting is it's about character. Yeah, character. Okay, so when they said character, I said, okay, so you're saying Black women are choosing effective leaders based off character. I tried to put that one out there, and then they tried to say yes. And then I said, because if character was good leadership, and good leadership was character, and Black women would submit if they found a good leader with good character, then that means that they would make good character and good leadership a prerequisite before they had raw sexual access with a man or did anything with a man. Leadership and good character would be the thing. And then they turned around and said, well, women are going to submit and follow what they deem as alpha, because they deem alphas as leader. And I said, you know what? I agree. And then I said, I think a productive man I consider a man alpha if he's productive. They turned around and said that they don't consider alpha to be productive. And I tried to piggy that back, and they started, I don't want to say they started derailing on purpose, but I tried to circle it back to, I remember the Pookie and Ray versus Educated Lame debate, where even though that debate was flawed, I didn't like many aspects of it, but at the end of the day, Black men were saying, choose a man based off, his competence, his characters, and willingness to commit, and whether or not he had a good job or this or that. Those are the things you should choose for. Black women rebelled against that argument, and they went full circle today when they tried to say that picking a man based off leadership, a man, so they'll submit naturally if a man leads properly. But they said they consider an alpha as a leader, And then when I said productivity, a man who's productive is a man who's alpha, they said, no, that alpha is something else. And Sister George doubled down in concrete. That's what they was low-key arguing with each other, because Sister George kind of went far and said, hey, we think that man who just got that that shit that we like, that's alpha. That's what we submitting to. That's what Concrete Rose was like, no, he can be productive too, or if he's productive, he can be productive and gay. So being productive don't mean alpha, but he can be alpha and some productive and some other stuff too. So they was all over the place. They was all over the damn place, and went full circle when they came back here at the end and said they don't necessarily hold the positions that they argued for today. Even though when you go down their timeline, they every just like their whole channel is 101 reasons for black women not to submit to black men, but they don't believe the bullshit that they said today. They talk about African men running their country. No, in Africa they don't got laws for the women. To make that argument is to essentially say that, oh, we'll submit if y'all ran the country and took laws away and didn't have feminist laws to protect us. We'll have to submit then. If the husband was judge, jury, and executioner and could bust our head, we'll submit then. That's basically what you're saying when you're going back to countries that that haven't had feminism run amok like that, because there's some countries in Africa where the women don't got rights like that. So that was just kind of weird. The whole thing, the work for another man, I kind of already covered that when I said that basically the white woman who wakes up in the morning next to a white man, a regular average Joe white man, she has to get up and go get a job. She has to go to work. She has to clock in. She's working for another man. That man has significantly more power than the man that she's with, but she has the wherewithal to know that she's not going to disrespect the man who's actually working for her to pay bills in her house, because he's not the guy who owns that company. That's how it's a bullshit gaslighting argument. Damn it, it was one more. Good one. Shit. I have some dead air while I try to figure that out. Shit. I'm gonna give it 15 more seconds and I'm just gonna go to my closing thing. What the hell was I gonna say? Fuck it, I forgot. That would have been a doozy too. But no, the biggest doozy in this is that if you take their arguments all the way to their logical conclusion, you want to know what they were saying? They were basically saying, we're not going to submit to any black man. We're not going to submit because you're dominated. You're dominated. You're the dominated, subjugated, bottom bitch to a white man. They was basically they normally make a diet version of Cynthia G argument, but they was going full Cynthia G. They went full Cynthia G. And these are black women who are in the black manosphere who allegedly claim that they pick me's and they this and they that. No, they went full feminist. They went full Cynthia G. They went full black man bashing, black man hating, saying no matter what you do, how you do it, no matter how productive you are, no matter how competent you are, no matter what, it doesn't matter. Y'all haven't built Wakanda yet, so black women don't have to submit. That's essentially their argument. You could be an engineer, you could be a doctor, you're in a country where white men collectively have more power, therefore, fuck you, nigga. I don't have to submit to you, don't got to act right to you. You're dominated. You're dominated. You're dominated. That's all we heard. That's all we heard. That's all they did. Shout out to the breakdown.
All right. That is going to complete our debate, folks. So now we go to the polls. If you believe Bernard Rowley from the Grown Man Hour won this debate, put a G in the chat. If you believe that the breakdown won this debate, put a B in the chat. Put a G in the chat for the Grown Man Hour. Put a B in the chat for the breakdown. Come on. Get to voting.
The Prophet of Thought series.
Come on. And anybody, my moderators, if you catch anybody voting twice, block their ass. No time out.
X.
Block them. Yeah, what's up, brother KIT?
Nah, I gotta run, man. I mean,
Okay.
sorry. I gotta step off though, man. Hey, good debate though to all you guys. Yeah, that was a good debate.
Thank you.
As always, brother.
Thank you.
Come on. Let's go.
And just because I'm such a nice guy, I voted B. I voted B.
Anybody
Thanks
who's
for your
caught
honesty.
voting twice, block
Thank
them.
you for your honesty. You know we won.
Right.
Block them.
I'm just such a nice guy. Big
You're a
cuddly
good
teddy
sport.
bear. I
You
voted
deserve all the submission in the world.
Oh, I get it too. I get it.
Come on. Let's go.
Girl, somebody called us Diamond and Silk.
They tried it. It's a bunch of haters in the
block them.
chat. It's a bunch of haters in the
Brother
chat. though. I ain't
BFT,
surprised.
if you catch
No,
them
no,
voting
no,
twice,
no,
block
it's
them.
not. It's not a big deal. It was just
Block
funny.
Yeah,
them.
but yeah, we don't take offense to it. We
No,
used to
it
'em.
was funny.
If you vote more than once, my moderators are going to block you. So don't do it. If they catch it, they're going to block you. Don't do it. They're going to block you.
People down there making up lies and all type of stuff. It's funny.
Well, it's kind of looking like the grown man hour.
It was rigged.
I mean, well, let me say this. I do think I legitimately won, but I mean, the voting is biased. I'll concede that. It's biased. I still kicked y'all ass, but the voting is biased.
Child, honey, when you wake up, honey, you had to stop the debate. Like, wait a minute,
And he made up so many lies in his closing argument.
Oh, honey.
Yeah.
Honey.
We need to get you on our channel.
We're going to call this one for the grown man hour, it looks like.
This is the manosphere. It was going to be the grown man hour anyway.
I only go by what the audience say. I don't vote. I let the audience decide.
That's what we expected. It's all good. It was still all in
So
good fun.
how you ladies look on time? How you ladies look on time?
I have a few minutes, not a whole bunch of time, but a little bit of time.
How you look on time, Brother Bernard?
Oh man, what time is it? I can hang out for a little bit, but I ain't making no promises.
Yeah, because we usually take some questions. I mean, if you gotta go, you gotta go. But
I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit. I would say, well, shit, I don't want to rehash. Well, I guess while we're waiting on questions, it was a few things y'all said, and I'm gonna do content on it because y'all brought up some stuff that the Black Manosphere say. No. This is gonna be good. Y'all brought up some stuff that people in the Manosphere say that I disagree with. And so I do want to make my position clear on that stuff because I am in the Manosphere, got a popular channel in this space. So if it's something that's that's out there, I need to make it clear that hey, I disagree with this, so people not assuming that's
you were trying to imply that our content, like that we're feminine based off our content. Like the last couple shows we did was about the manosphere being right about different things. We talked about Black women being responsible for effeminizing Black men. Like y'all like to spin a certain narrative to push you all's agenda, but it's really BS. If anybody who listens to our content knows that we a lot of times take the opposite position. We don't push feminist talking point. Of course we did for this debate. It's a debate. Yeah, we probably were.
Yeah, that's what I was just
G2.0. It's a debate. Come on.
That's what I was just about to say in response to what you said. I don't believe half the shit I just said. I was just bullshitting too.
Okay. Yeah. It sounds good. I'm about it.
All right. So y'all know. Hold on a second. Everybody.
Because y'all can get out and say, "Oh no, we don't really believe all this shit."
Hold on a second. Let me get this out. Everybody, y'all know how we do it here. If you have questions for the debaters, you must super chat them or cash app them. Send them up now because both groups of debaters said that they have to go. So if you have any questions for my debaters, bring them up now because I'm not going to keep them up here if you don't have any questions for them. Go.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say that this is what I honestly believe with y'all channel, and I've said this on my show that, you know, well, one, when y'all, my first experience, you know, seeing y'all is when Obsidian used to, you know, do his show on YouTube, and y'all would come on and basically be the opposition down in the trenches, you know,
Yes.
fighting the good fight for the black women. Yeah, you know, that was like kind of y'all thing. And so when y'all did y'all, you know, show, I was like, okay, they're building the channel in the sphere. I'm not debating whether or not that's right, wrong. I'm indifferent to that. But y'all, they building the channel in the black manosphere. But I did look at y'all as y'all are basically on the front line, down in the trenches, fighting the good fight for the sisterhood. Now, there are times when y'all do make arguments in favor of men. I can't prove this, but my personal belief is that y'all do that more so because y'all know y'all built the channel in this space. I tend to believe y'all have about an 80% male audience, maybe more. So y'all know y'all can't go full gangster out there. Y'all can't go full Cynthia G.
But this is the thing.
So,
this is the thing. Let me just say this. If we wanted to build a channel within the sphere and perhaps have a Cynthia G type channel, and make the same arguments that we made, our channel actually will probably be more popular because Cynthia G does still get viewers from this space that would love to go on there and argue with her. Men still go and listen to Cynthia G and listen to her arguments. They get mad all over again, but they're steady over there because they know every time she says something off cuff, they know everything she says, they know everything she does, they know all of her business, they know everything. So I feel like we would have a more popular channel if we actually did that. The thing with Concrete and I, let me finish my point. The thing with Concrete and I feel like the black manosphere make excellent talking points. There are things that cannot be refuted because there is data that backs up the things that y'all talk about. So how I look at us, I do feel like we provide some type of balance. No, I don't agree with anything that women say. I don't agree with a lot of things that women say. I don't agree with
all things that anybody say. We don't even agree with each other on everything. There's a lot that we don't have the same opinion on. In addition, like the manosphere, we didn't come in this space with the intent to create a channel. There were big YouTubers from the manosphere telling us that we need to create a channel. Aside from that, I don't have anything to prove in this space, so I wouldn't pretend to be someone that I'm not. I'm with a man who is of Muslim background. He would only have a woman that's going to submit to him. So I don't have to try to pretend that I'm submissive and pretend that I'm feminine for the people in this space.
Yeah, I wasn't saying all of that, but I will say this, that well, there are a lot of women with Cynthia G talking points. That's the last time I'm going to say her name. But there's a lot of women with those type of talking points that got struggle channels that ain't growing nowhere. So I mean, y'all did catch a hold. I mean, and I made some savvy moves too that a lot of people know about to get the algorithm catching me in this space too. I mean, we kind of all came up at the same time. So that's why, you know, I can look at y'all. The savvy nature of what y'all did, that I don't think y'all could full blown say that if y'all just would have just went full gangster, just coming after men, that y'all channel would have grew faster. Because hold on, I'll let y'all talk for a while. It's a lot of struggle channels that do that don't exactly grow either. So I do think that, you know, y'all being you know, more fence stride. I mean, I did get a good endorsement from Obsidian, did get a good endorsement from BGS, and being more fence straddling, you know, made men be okay being there. But I predicted, and haven't went full away like my prediction, but I was like, as they grow more, it's going to get more, you know.
That's not true.
But this is the thing.
Hold on. Because I look at y'all like the resistance on the front line, fighting for women in this space, but y'all know, I just feel like y'all can't go full all the way with it. Just, you know, I'm not that y'all are lying and pretending to be somebody that y'all not, but I just
don't take that into consideration with our content. We talk about what we want to talk about. We're not concerned about, oh, we're going to ruffle somebody's feathers. Like, somebody always going to be pissed about what we talk about, no matter what the topic is.
I mean, I think y'all can beat your chest and say that now, because that algorithm hitting y'all strong and y'all are mainstaying here.
We're still a growing channel. We ain't where you at. We still should have to act. We still should have to kiss ass. We not where you at. We still a small channel.
Yeah.
What do you mean y'all got to kiss ass?
Hold on a second. We got a few questions coming up. $5 from my man DJ Nap. Appreciate that, brother. He says, how many times did Bernard make you Pat? and adjust your wig during the debate out of frustration. Oh God, jeez.
DJ Nav, first of all, I took my wig off and got my hair did today, and it is beautiful. So it looks great. It looks fantastic. Curlin loves it, and he loves my submission. It's wonderful.
And we got another super chat from Lady Faith. Another $2 super chat.
Nobody got their hair done for you today, Bernard. That's crazy.
Appreciate that super chat, Lady
That
Faith.
made me giggle. That made me giggle. Gate.
She said, "Good job, ladies." And
Shout out to Faith.
We got another $2 super chat from my man Supreme. He said, "To both debate sides, part 2 with Miss J, 3 versus 1."
You know what? You know what? And we're gonna take the opposition and make them argue feminist talking points, because I feel like this was a setup. The only way to go was like feminist talking points. So I'm like,
right, and then that leads itself to, that lends itself to their agenda. So see, I told you they were feminists. Listen,
Why would you accept a debate over a position you wouldn't hold? Like,
because first of all, when the debate
we would be arguing,
exactly, and it was never presented what position we would be holding. It was presented. Go back and look at. I can screen share emails and stuff too. It was presented as, hey, do you guys want to participate in a debate versus Bernard? Sure. What's the debate going to be about? T.P.O.T presented about 2 or 3 topics. I said, okay, well, that's fine. We can roll with whatever topic, because we're not scary. We're not any punks. And it was a debate. I've been on a debate team before. Probably not the best at it.
Did you honestly think it was possible I was going to come up here and argue the affirmative, that if a man leads naturally, a woman?
No, we figured what it was going to be, but it's a debate. It's a debate. We didn't take it personal. It wasn't a personal thing.
That it was like really, literally debate style. I had never heard one of T.P.O.T's debates, so I didn't know. I thought he would ask both of us our positions on the argument and then just field questions to us. I did not know.
No, this is how we do it here. But anyway, $5 super chat from a man Hulk. Good luck on that super chat, brother. He says, breakdown. Law prevents kids from parents' protection via discipline. Now, likewise, how can black women legally empowered over black men as they protectors demand protection? Maybe I read that wrong. The law prevents kids from parents' protection via discipline. Now, likewise, how can black women legally empower over black men as they protectors demand protection? All right, y'all want to take that?
I understand the question. I think that when we talk about protection, we talk about it in the sense of, like Bernard said, like a reactionary. Yes, the we can involve the law and we can call the police and involve them, and they can step in at any point or when they arrive in order to quell things. But we're talking about in situations where there's no cops there. It's something that happens instantaneously and there's no protection being afforded.
Can I see that question again? I didn't even get to. I was
absolutely
bullshitting. Yeah, put that back up there. Thanks. All right. Law prevents kids from parents' protection via discipline. And likewise, how can black women legally empowered over? That question.
He's saying that black women are empowered over black men.
How?
I don't know.
Even if we're still the physically weaker sex. So
you saying because y'all can call the police?
We're still the physically weaker sex. We would still need protection from the phically stronger gender.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
That's a complicated question, child.
Yeah.
He was addressing to the ladies anyway, so
Okay, cool. Yeah, I ran out of spit. I can't even think.
That's how it feels when you get your ass beat.
No,
go ahead,
y'all lost resoundingly.
We got another $5 super chat from Big J Triple X. Good look on that, brother Big J. He says black men can't debate Cynthia G without saying something stupid. I don't know how that figures into what we're talking about tonight, brother Big J, but I appreciate the $5. Also, my man Ricardo with the $2.99 super chat. Appreciate that, brother Ricardo. He said, "You think we're going back to traditional ways?" I don't know who he's addressing it to. Whoever wants to take it can take it.
I'm actually hopeful of that. I mean, but it's some very discouraging data out there. But no, that's one thing that I've always said, that the problem, a lot of the things that do need to get corrected, it only can get corrected with actual families. So if families aren't together, then yeah, shit gonna stay fucked up and get more fucked up. And then so there's that. But it don't look like, looking at the younger generations, I don't know the exact data on it. I heard somebody doing some content on it that younger people aren't getting married, but they supposedly allegedly having sex less and making less out of wedlock babies. So I don't know, but overall it's a toughie. It's a toughie. But no, I would like to see traditional families. Yeah, I would actually like to see that, but
I think we're moving in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I think we're moving in the opposite direction too.
Yeah,
I don't really see it. It would be nice. It would be nice for us as a society to go back to some traditional ways, but
y'all just argued all the reasons why y'all not.
Sir, that's why it's called a debate. A debate, Bernard. You have an affirmative and you have a negative. If it was a circle jerk like you normally have on your show, then it would not be a debate, Bernard.
I love when people come up and disagree. That's why I like when you come up there and you get your little spanking and then say, "Okay, I'm gonna leave real quick because I'm So
child, because I come and spank y'all ass every now and then because that's what y'all like. That's what y'all like. It's all good.
Oh shit.
All right, we got another super chat from my man Supreme. Appreciate that $2, brother. He says, "Salute to the breakdown for debating. Others are too scared."
Anytime.
I give y'all props for that. That's why I'm being all nice and friendly after the debate, because I do appreciate y'all coming up and getting this ass whooping. But
absolutely.
Child,
ladies are always welcome up here. Ladies are always welcome to debate up here.
T.P.O.T, he had to set it up, bring up the topic, then make us have feminist talking points, and then talk about us having feminist talking points. It's real cute, Bernard. It's real cute. It's so cute. That is adorable, honey. That is so sweet.
No matter what they do, they blame black men for it. They're gonna blame me for they fucked up feminist talking points.
Hold on a second. We got another super chat, $5 from my brother Great Britain. Appreciate that, brother Great Britain. He says, "Where in U.S. history did Jews overthrow white supremacy for their women to cooperate so well? Where's the all Asian ran courts that their women cooperate?"
I don't talk to Great Britain, so Concrete, you got it.
I don't think that anyone made an argument that anybody overthrew white supremacy. I think that, however, Jews certainly hold positions of power because they run the entertainment industry.
All right. Yeah. So, I think I respond. I ran out of spit. I think I'm about to cry. I'm not lying, but I could go in on that one even. Okay, I will. All right.
Pull the trigger.
Put the question back up there. Pull
the trigger, man. Don't hold back.
Can you get that question back up there?
There it is.
All right. So so he's asking, when did they? Okay. And that's part of the problem, because see, you talked about the lack of power that black men have, and that's why black men are not submitting. And then, but when you look at Asians, they're not running the country, okay, but they make good money. And then when I tried to say, oh, it's about money, and then I pointed out that there are people that are getting cooperation from their women that black men make more money than. And then I turned around and say, oh, it wasn't about money. And then you turned around and said that, well, we
never said it was about money.
I know, but then you said you had to that well, black women have to compete with black men, and then I said, and compete how? Compete to get jobs. What do jobs do? They pay money, so it was about money. So that's where
No. It's a
that's
power
why
structure. But the debate is over with that you lost and you're still trying to argue it. So if you lost it and you're still trying to argue, we get it. It's okay. Do what you got to do, Bernard.
That's why I didn't want to say nothing. I ain't trying to rehash the debate, so I'm just going. I'm a punt on a lot of these. I'm just going hang out a little bit. My camera just died again, so there's that.
Just leave it alone, man. We got to get you a new camera up in here because you're killing me.
We got another $5 super chat from a man, Indigenous TV. Appreciate that, brother. Indigenous. He says, have you guys ever read the book Daughters of the Trade?
No, but I looked up the book. I think it's by a Swedish white woman. I take what she wrote with a grain of salt. I read about it because it's mentioned so often in this sector, but I have not read the book.
No, I haven't, but I heard a lot about it, and I don't make a lot of points that go back to slavery, but it's from what I heard about that book, it's pretty like, whoa, like shit. Like, so, yeah.
I call it bullshit.
Bullshit on who? On the book or
Yeah.
on me? On the book. You don't think the information in the book is true?
No, I take it with a grain of salt, just like everything else that they are responsible for, all the other misinformation that we receive from them. I mean, why would I believe that? But question everything else that I've learned from.
Okay, I mean, you trusted all the white man's data to come up with the reason why black women ain't gonna submit. But anyway, all right, cool.
Whatever.
All right.
I'm done debating. That was my last jab.
All right.
I'm done debating.
Got a $10 super chat from my man, DeMac, the trucker. Appreciate that $10 super chat, brother DeMac. He says, breakdown. You ladies spoke of black women not being protected, and both you ladies have significant others. Would you want your men protecting a total stranger if she was in danger or in some need of help?
It depended on the type of danger that she was in. Now, I would always want him to do something to maybe try to stop it. Hold on, is that me?
Hello? Mic check, 1, 2.
Yeah, mic check. What's going on?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was me. It depends. Like, I would always want him to make a call or, call the police if it's something that he can do without getting his life put in danger. Sure. Yeah.
Personally, that is a tough question for me. I have seen situations where people have tried to step in order to talk a black woman down when things were escalating, and that wasn't successful. So things escalated to the point that there was some sort of physical contact made. And as a result, there was an expectation for a black man to step in. In addition, sometimes it's her significant other. If the police come, she's going to side with him. So I'm kind of iffy on that. I would like for him to provide protection without having to engage, if at all possible.
I said I'm done debating, but I do. Well, y'all understand. I mean, I think y'all do understand.
We already said it was for the sake of the debate, Bernard.
No. I'm not even about to bring up the debate. I'm just saying in general. Okay, well, yeah, that's fine. That's fair, even though I don't necessarily believe it. But overall though, if a black men in this space are saying, "Hey, we ain't intervening when we see some bullshit happening," and y'all have criticized men for that, and then when they ask you about your particular man,
we don't.
No.
Oh, okay. What's your
no? Don't make arguments that we've never made, because we've never made those arguments.
We say we understand why men don't intervene, and that they, a woman's first line of defense is herself. She needs to ensure that she's careful about
it's not in situations in the first place, and we've been on record saying there are certain areas that you don't need to be in to where you would need protection anyway. Miss J also brought up that talking point recent, but it was made on our show way before she even brought that as that talking point up It was made way before that.
Okay, cool.
Women don't need to be in situations to where they're going to need protection anyway. And it was something else that I wanted to say, but I forget my point. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. If y'all are officially on record, and this is where I don't watch y'all show enough, and
Exactly.
I've admitted, hold on. I've admitted that sometimes I will respond to the title, but whenever I look at that title and I say, "Oh, that title is all fucked up," let me go listen. Yeah, then y'all confirm everything that I thought from the title.
You're
but
so full of it.
But that is one that if that's y'all position on that, I didn't know that. So if that's y'all actual true position is that y'all do want men to. Y'all understand the men that are not
I ain't
intervening.
trying to sacrifice the life of mine because ain't nobody gonna provide me with the level of protection that he does.
Now, this is what I did say.
Cool.
I will say this. Now, I don't. I saw a girl get stabbed on a train before, and nobody helps her. But I did see men with like cameras and their cell phones out filming it, and that was hurtful to see. Now,
Yeah,
I did speak on that, but that's not that doesn't occur. That's not an everyday occurrence. That's not that's a outlier of something that it's like a freak accident or some shit. But I don't think that's
I know.
the thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I do think that, like I said before, just regardless of all these talking points, I just think most men are going to react and intervene unless they just see a chick on some outright fuckery. And they like, I ain't getting involved in that fuckery. But it is a part of modern American culture. That shit might be global, but I know it's definitely a part of American culture where everybody knee-jerk reaction when they see something about to happen, they start recording, and then when the shit that they thought was about to happen is happening, they still just be deer in headlights recording, and so that does increase the probability that somebody who don't deserve to be getting their head busted, gonna be getting their head busted, and people gonna be recording it. And I'll sit here and say, as somebody with a somewhat popular channel in the manosphere, that ain't cool. If a chick is innocent, minding her own business, and somebody just I mean, she's clearly the innocent victim, and somebody just jump out on her. Like I do believe most men gonna intervene and help out. That's just where I'm at with it. Most men gonna help out.
All right. We got another $4.99 super chat from my man Sire Tice. Good look on that, brother Sire Tice. He said, damn, I didn't hear. I'm sure they, meaning the women's, had verifiable by data talking points. LOL. Oh, wait, I already know what it is. Salute B. All right. Let me see. I'm going to try to catch up to some of y'all super chats, man. They coming in hot and heavy, so y'all got to bear with me. Where we at here? I might have passed a few. I'm trying to find them, y'all. Let me go back up. Okay. Brother Cy Tice again with the $4.99 super chat. He says, name the 5 recent books the ladies have read of Black culture. No pausing. Go.
Okay, so I've read Pimp by Iceberg Slim. I read Donald Goines' Black Girl Lost. I don't necessarily read books like books about Black culture. I mostly study human nature, and so I read Complex PTSD, The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene, and it's another one, but I forget. But yeah.
I read Pride and Prejudice, The New Jim Crow, and I read a fiction book by Gloria Naylor I can't think of. And then I also read the Shahrazad Ali book at the beginning of last year. Those are 4. I can't remember the one before that.
All right. Oh, got another $10 super chat from brother Curlin. Appreciate that, brother Curlin. He says, chat in a formal debate, sometimes you got to defend some points you don't like. Case in point, 3 months ago, Dana versus Raw B. Raw didn't believe or live by what she had to defend and said so after. Oh, shit, you watched my other female debates, brother Curlin? Oh, shit. Let's see what else.
I was a timekeeper.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
And you're like,
that's
yeah.
right.
Gotta watch my woman. Gotta watch my woman keep the time. That's what.
Yeah, that's right, Lady George.
I mean, your woman ain't watching you. Oh, so you don't want your woman to witness his ass whooping today.
I'm joking. What's up? Salute. Shout out to Curlin.
Well, you know, I do so many of these. You know, they get filed in the back of my mind. You know, another $2 super chat from my brother Supreme. He said, Mrs. SKC asked why Asians were brought up so much.
Asian women are seen as submissive.
Because Asian women are the most submissive, and that argument was made by a lot of guys in this space. So I just wanted to give it back. Like the guys, said the Asian women are the most submissive. So I was like, that's what the guys said.
Okay, right? First off, SKC, yeah, you are vindicated by how many times they brought up Asian women. Secondly, is the argument, and guys, help me out in the chat, is the argument that they are the most feminine, not necessarily the most submissive? Because I do know that they are viewed as the most feminine. I never thought that submissiveness was included in that. So that's something that I seriously didn't know that people looked at it like that, because I have heard a lot and seen a lot about how Asian women, they be disrespecting the men. They got a fascination and fixation with white men, even though their men make more money than white men. They just love them some white men, and so they so yeah, I thought that they were sort of on some disrespectful shit to their men. I know in some countries, I know Zero has covered some stuff on that. I didn't have the information, so I couldn't really elaborate on it. So I just had to like wipe it off the table in the debate. But Zero has talked about how in some countries over there, the women are out of pocket. So there's that. But Game Changer just said both. So I guess he'll be the resident expert that said they both are the most feminine and submissive. So I'll take that, whatever. But I honestly didn't know.
All right. We got another $5 super chat from a brother Great Britain. Appreciate that, brother Great Britain. He says, if you live in a county, you get a county, a police protection. Why are men who praise white men, county A, mad at the black men in county B not protecting them?
I can't speak on that because I don't have an issue with protection. So I'm not mad at black men for not extending protection to me. I have never been attacked violently. However, in my community, I certainly feel protected. So, I don't know.
Lady George, you want to wrestle with that one? No? Yes?
No, I don't talk to Great Britain.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said that earlier. My bad.
Yes, sir.
All right. Brother cut to the chase with the $4.99. Appreciate that super chat, young fella. He said, why would these ladies hop on a public forum to debate something that they don't totally believe in? Sometimes we just like to hear ourselves talk.
Well, we didn't know what position Bernard would be taking. In addition, it's called supporting other content creators. So I think that it, is still, in addition, it's still exposure for us too. So why wouldn't we?
Well,
we know how
to do this.
We know how to be objective, and we're pretty objective, and we know how to defend arguments that we don't necessarily agree with.
Also, Robbie and the real Dana have been the only two women within and I'm not even going to necessarily say that they're in the Black manosphere space, but they've been the only two women that have gotten up here to debate. And so we thought it would be a good idea for the space as well, to get our channel some more exposure. But we also thought it would be fun. We go back and forth with Bernard a lot.
Right.
We were familiar with him. We didn't think he would call us stupid bees and hoes and cry at the end of the debate. So we thought it would be fun.
That's what the mute button is for. So y'all did get caught that. Just
you're wrong.
Actually, ladies, y'all are the third group of ladies to debate on here, because I also had a debate between Paulina Johnson and the lawyer Michelle.
I know who she is.
Then we would actually be the first women considered in manosphere history to debate here. So we don't take it lightly. We thought it would be a good opportunity for us to have some fun.
Absolutely. And I build this as all are welcome. I don't have a problem with ladies coming up here debating, long as they ain't ratchet hoes coming up here talking crazy and get thrown the fuck off. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. And people who do have a problem with me not having a problem with it don't watch my shit no more. That's all I can say. You know, all are welcome on my shit. I'm not going to say, oh, don't have no, because y'all already know how that shit go. You're not going to tell me who to have on my shit. You're not. Forget it. Forget it. All right, let me see what we got. Oh, we got a $2 super chat from brother Red Alert. I appreciate that, Red Alert. He says, what the hell are black women seeking protection from? Freddy Krueger?
Potential assailants.
Protection from the Pookies and Ray Rays we like to have sex with so often.
Don't fuck around and start telling the truth now. I wanted that argument in the debate. You almost slipped up and did it, though, Sister George. You almost slipped up, then concrete caught you.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We got another one from the Perfect Storm, $5 super chat. Appreciate that, brother. He says, does the breakdown know the difference between man and men? Bernard was correct. Interpersonal.
Really?
Good question.
Okay. So when they talk about, I have heard of man being referred to as a group. And I've heard groups of men being referred to as groups of men.
Like
I mean, Bernard was the one.
One small step for man.
Exactly. 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 So, like I said, Bernard came up with the topic. Bernard got his ass beat. I mean, it was just a great night. It's been great.
But I will say that what he said did embody exactly the point that I tried to push pause on the debate to try to get it on cue. It does say if a man, not if man, if a man leads properly, a woman will submit naturally. It was talking about interpersonal, but yeah, I wanted to.
If you say so, we heard you crying. We got you. We did.
Anyway,
we got you.
Okay.
This is my last question. My phone is about to die, so I'm gonna have to bow out after this one.
All right, brother Sire Tice with another $4.99 super chat. Appreciate that, brother. He says, to my books question, here's what hilarious. They didn't even say one of ARC books. Laughing my ass off. I mean, damn. Oh wait, it was fun as said.
Because I actually listened to ARC books. I didn't read them. They were on audio, and I did Say It Again, and I can't remember. Mode 1. So why would I say that I read them when I listened to them on audio?
Well, Concrete, I will tell you this: Beta Male Revolution was freaking awesome. So if there's ever an ARC book that you should read, Beta Male Revolution is probably my most recommended.
Yeah. I liked Say It Again. So
I liked Say It Again, and what was the first Mode 1? Mode 1 was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I read Mode 1 and Beta Male Revolution. They were good. Very good.
Very good. Trey, I got your Cash App, brother. Go ahead and put your question in the chat, man. If you wrote it already, it's my bad, man. I missed it. So go ahead and write it again, brother. If you're still out there, go ahead, write it again. And good luck on that super chat, Counselor Murray. Appreciate that, brother. $4.99. Appreciate that, brother. Go ahead, brother Trey. If you're still out there. Because if you wrote it before, I think I might have missed it. Oh, my brother Nick Taylor in the house with a $5 super chat. Appreciate that, brother Taylor. He said, if you are not in my inner circle, you're on your own. My nephew went to jail for stopping a dude from beating a random chick in the street. Nope.
I get it.
Do either one of you ladies want to wrestle with
No,
that
I
one?
understand that. To be completely honest, like I said, have to think about the preservation of my family. So if my fiance is out in the streets, in all honesty, I want him to truly, which he's extremely analytical, so he's going to assess the situation anyways. And he's a big dude, and he certainly knows how to protect himself. So he's going to assess the situation, but that's why I don't believe that men should just step in when something is physical without truly assessing what's going on. If there's another way for you to provide protection, like calling the police, like sometimes just the presence of a man, so saying, hey, leave her alone, something to that effect, without you having to get physical, that's what I would prefer anyway.
All right, we got another $2 super chat from brother ARC, the notorious ARC, as I refer to him as,
and the new father ARC. What's going on?
Absolutely.
Congratulations,
Congratulations, brother. Congratulations on that. He says, "Why, thank you, ladies." I guess he's referring to you ladies reading his book.
ARC is dope.
Well, I'm going to actually have to bow out. My phone is literally, I have no battery. So I have to bow out. But this was really, really fun. I truly enjoyed it. Bernard was a good sport about the beat down.
Y'all just gonna keep telling that lie. Y'all just gonna keep telling that lie.
You know what, Concrete? I think we should change our name to the beat down of woman's perspective. That's what we should do.
Right about that. But thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You gotta come back. You gotta come back and square off. Come on back. You're always welcome here. All are welcome in the digital squared circle. That's how we do it here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page.
Definitely.
Welcome back anytime.
Have a good night, guys.
I'm about to type in the chat, which I should change your name to. Oh, peace, Concrete, peace.
You know what?
About to type in the
Bernard,
chat.
don't you start on this.
Well,
be a graceful loser.
Being that brother ARC is in the chat, and he's married and a father now, so I got to get this last one out, brother ARC. I got to get it out.
No.
I had to get that one out, brother ARC. I hadn't hit you with that in quite some time, so I had to get that last one out because I guess I can't call you that no more now that you're a married father. But congratulations, my brother. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the super chat and all that. My man.
ARC said me and Sister George need to have a never mind.
Child, I would be the star, and you know how Bernard does. Lord.
Oh, shit.
Oh, we got another super chat from the Perfect Storm. I appreciate that, brother. He said the breakdown bowed out from the start. Ouch.
Go take a nap, a Stormy. Drizzle. Not the perfect storm, you the perfect drizzle. Go drizzle somewhere else.
Damn. Get off my boy Perfect Storm.
No, let me stop. Perfect Storm I got too.
Perfect Storm is that dude, man.
That's the drizzle.
I can't even come at you no more because I'm tired. I ran out of spit. I can't even fight your battle, Perfect Storm. I gotta let her have that one. I ain't got too many more punches left in me.
Brother Trey, go ahead and write that question, man. I see you up there now. I'm actually paying attention now. So write it, brother. Go ahead and hit me with it while I'm looking at the big board, Brother Trey.
Let me ask you a question, Bernard. Would you, like, if there was a debate, do you have to believe in your actual position to hold the debate?
Absolutely, I would not accept it.
That's interesting. Okay,
they were there. They shot a few topics at me that I was like, because it was something about should women be in this sector. Now, I have my views about women being in this sector, but it ain't necessarily. That's just not my style to be trying to police the whole sector like that. So I just like, nah, I can't take that one. It was something else too that was put out there. It was so long story short, no, I won't accept a debate unless I truly passionately believe in what I'm saying.
Okay. Now see, I debated. I did high school and a little of college, and I did mock trial on both too. And so usually, sometimes you have to take positions that you don't necessarily agree with, but it does make you look at things from different perspectives. So I just thought that was interesting. I didn't know that people actually had like stances like that they wouldn't debate a thing that they weren't all the way with. So I didn't know that. For future references.
I mean, typically on YouTube, I mean, even though Xavier do run this like a very formal debate platform, so I can understand how somebody feel like that. Sometimes you do gotta do that, but I mean, I feel like you're not just. I don't know. I couldn't do it.
You know what?
If I'm saying something, I gotta believe in it.
But you know what's interesting though? Usually with the debate, usually it's the person who calls the debate who tells you whether you're affirmative or negative, or you kind of like draw straws or something to see what side you're going to be on. So that's why I was like, it was a debate. It wasn't a big deal to me.
I would have declined if I would have had to argue the other position. I would have literally walked off stage. I would not have debated.
I'm out of here. Trey, the NBD, he says Mrs. NBD wants to know why all Hispanic men are lumped together. She says Mexicans, Hondurans, Cubans, etc. are night and day from Dominicans like her.
Because we black folks and we don't know the difference. They all Mexicans to us.
Yeah, right. No, they all Puerto Ricans. They all Puerto Ricans.
I think that's the real answer. Somebody could take a more intellectual approach on that one.
They're all Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I called them all Mexicans for a long time. I just recently started saying Hispanic, and now I'm finding out that I'm still getting it wrong. So I don't know what to call them. I haven't self-educated myself on that one. Sorry.
Isn't the proper term Latino? Is that the proper term? I mean, because when you say Hispanic, people are like, "Oh, Hispanic isn't a race."
I was going with a Latino, and I got corrected on that. Yeah. So I just don't know. I'm just gonna go back to calling them Mexicans.
Everybody, everybody.
Don't do that.
Is Mexican.
Okay, you don't know what to call them.
I call them Hispanics.
I know, but what if okay? But look at that super chat. You could be getting it wrong.
Yeah,
man, I ain't getting nothing wrong. They're of Hispanic descent. The U.S. got it wrong.
That was my logic too. But whenever I think I got it, somebody correct me. I got to go back to the drawing board on what to call them. So
every damn time.
Just don't call them all Mexicans. That's a terrible thing to do.
I know that. That's practically that's almost a racial slur. So yeah, you're right. You're right on that one.
We got another $10 super chat from my man Keep It Techie, the official T.P.O.T. YouTube page timekeeper. Says showing support. I really enjoyed these debate. Salute. I appreciate it, brother, and I appreciate you, man, for being part of this thing, man. Couldn't do it without you, brother, because when I got to keep the time, shit is all fucked up. Got another.
Shout out to Keep It Techie. I just subscribed to you. I'm late to the party.
Yeah, man.
Keep It Techie. I just
get on down there, man. The brother does good stuff, man. He does good stuff. Put your info in the chat, brother KIT, so people know where to find you, brother. We got another $4.99 super chat from brother Sire Tice. He says Bernie to SG's question. I believe he means Sister George. Debate is about being knowledgeable of each position. That said, the breakdown, can you exist without the manosphere? I say no. Now, Sire Tice, you asking questions and didn't answer the shit. That's my man, though. Oh, and also, speaking of Sire Tice, for those of you who aren't aware, he did a presentation about fasting on the show the other week, and he will be doing a series. It will be the Sire Tice series right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, because this is the Prophet of Thought series. That is what it is. Look forward to a lot of series here. There's quite a few brothers who are developing series on this page. Yes. And Brother Sire Tice is one of those brothers, so stay tuned for that. The Sire Tice series. You will be seeing quite a few of those. Good luck on that super chat, Brother Sire Tice. All right, what we got here? Oh, American Negro with the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that, brother. He said, congrats, Sister George, Curlin M, ARC, and SKC, then a bunch of symbols and peace in the US. All right. Appreciate
Thank you
that, brother.
so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Another $10 super chat from the well, I can't say the Notorious no more. I'll just say ARC. Another super chat from Brother ARC, $10. I appreciate that, brother. He says, thank you, everyone, for the well wishes with my new son. Much appreciated, Brother X. This is a very professional and well-organized debate platform you have. Continued success. I enjoyed this tonight. Well, I appreciate that, brother, man. Coming from you, man. That's big, man. I try, man. I try, Brother ARC. I try. Sometimes they get a little out of control, but for the most part, we try to keep it professional and within the time. And, we got a timekeeper to make sure everybody see the clock and all that. So I appreciate that, brother. I do. I appreciate that compliment. Like I said, coming from you, man, that is well received. Well received, my brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, to be honest, I was sitting here. Of course, I'm always listening to the debate, but my wife was watching it too, and she liked it. She liked it. I actually got a few emails about it, man. So it is what it is. This is the very first co-ed debate. We've had female against female debates before, but this was the very first co-ed debate, and I think it went off without a hitch, man.
Yeah, I think you should explore that a little more, because we can't deny the reality. One major aspect of the manosphere is the supposed gender war. So you might as well go ahead and capitalize on that. If you're having debates, I'm sure it's other women that got the I was about to say the balls, the ovaries to come up and go toe to toe with somebody. Absolutely. So yeah, you should definitely explore that.
Like I say, Brother Bernard, I don't have a problem with anybody. Now, of course, there's certain people that ain't stepping foot on my shit. Okay, that's with anybody. There's certain people will never see their asses up here, not on this channel. But I don't have a problem with it. Just certain women. Okay, let me rephrase that. All right, certain women, I don't have no problem with them coming up here debating. I don't have a problem with co-ed debates like this. Obviously, I don't have a problem with female versus female debates, obviously, because I've had them. Now, you have some brothers who have wrote me, oh man, X, you got these girls up there. Man, this is a fucking debate platform. I don't give a shit who comes up here. No one's gonna stick me to some fucking rules, all right, when it comes to debating. Whoever wants to come up here and debate can. It's as simple as that. And like I said, whoever has a problem with that, just don't watch. Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, we do debates. Don't watch me on those nights. Only watch me on the nights when brothers are debating, if that's your problem. It is what it is. People ain't going to dictate how I run my channel. Fuck that shit, man. As a matter of fact, people are not going to hold me to their fucking standards. All right. I'm a self-made man. I built my own self from scratch. Every fucking thing around me has my name on it. I ain't trying to listen to no motherfucker tell me what to do. Nobody. None of you. I'm not. So if that's the angle that you're coming from, I respect it. I respect your angle. But guess what? Keep it to your fucking self. All right. Keep it to yourself, because I don't go around telling people who to have on their shit, who to get along with, who not to get along with. What are we in fucking junior high? Are we in junior high? Oh, I don't like your friends, so you shouldn't have your friends at your house. You shouldn't be riding bikes with your friend because, see, I don't like that friend that you have. Come on, man. Grow the fuck up. These are people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, man. And we still talking like this? Really? You know who talks like this? My fucking 14-year-old granddaughter talks like this. The same kind of shit I hear up here, I hear it from my 14-year-old granddaughter. I hear from people who are 30, 40, 50 years old. Oh, why are you hanging with him? Oh, why are you hanging with her? Oh, why are you at her house? Why is she at your house? Really? Really? Grow the fuck up, man. Grow up. Grow up. And if you don't want to grow up, don't come here. Don't come here. Because grown-ups are here. Okay? All right. Fuck out of here, man.
Right on, right on.
But anyway, if there's no more questions, I'm going to let my debaters go. Because guess what? My ass is old. It's midnight. And goddamn it, I need to goddamn get my black ass in the bed. In the bed. You know? But once again, I appreciate it. And also, if you have a request for a debate, whether you're a male, female, a grizzly bear, sea donkey, shark, penguin, a bat, sparrow, whatever you are, send me a request. Also, you can submit requests for debate topics, and you can submit requests for people you want to debate. Trust me, people do it all the time. How do you think I get these debates going every damn week? So if you wish to debate someone, or you wish to see other people debate, if you wish to see another debate, send me a request and I will try to make it happen. Now, granted, I cannot always make them happen because of logistics, or this person doesn't want to do it. But if you want to see a debate, or you want to be part of a debate, or you want to see a topic debated, send me a request and I will do my best. I will do my best to make it happen. You got my word on that. Anyone who sent me requests know that I go all out and try to make it happen. I do. So just hit me up, let me know, and we'll make it happen. I mean, we throw down, we do debates mostly on Wednesdays. This was a special debate, so I squeezed it in on a Thursday, but we also do debates on Saturdays. All right? We do them Saturday nights, 8 o'clock. So hit me up if you want to see something or you want to do something. Y'all all got my email because everybody's got everybody's goddamn email. So, all right? All right. So, if that's going to be it for the questions for my debaters, I'm going to thank them and let them go. Brother Bernard, you know you my folk, man. You know you my brother. I appreciate you coming on, man. I do, man. I appreciate you coming on, brother.
No problem, man. No problem.
Man.
Anytime, man. I was glad to be here. Had a great time. Had a great time.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you.
I'm up here yawning on you though. I was trying to hang. I was about to leave, but I was let me stay here. You know, you got the super chats coming in. I wanted to stay here until you at least stop. When you stop making money, I'm like, all right, we can go now. But when long as that money was ringing, I was like, I'm gonna hang out with my boy. You know, gotta keep the party rolling if they paying. You know.
If they paying, you staying.
Yeah. They ain't paying now, so I'm gonna go on and roll out.
Oh, good look on that Cash App, Lady China. Appreciate that, Lady China. Good look on that Cash App, Lady China. Appreciate that. Yeah. I guess we're gonna close it out, man. Tonight was a double header, man. I'm kind of talked out. Usually I would open it up, and we'll go for a little while, but this is the second stream I've done tonight. I did 2 back to back, so I'm a little talked out and I'm tired, and I need to lay down and first go on my deck and smoke a cigar, then lay down. So that's what needs to happen right now. But also, Lady George, Lady Danielle, you always welcome here too. You've been on here before. Are you still interested in being timekeeper for a female debate? If
Oh yeah,
time allows. Okay.
absolutely.
What's a better day for you to be timekeeper? Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday?
Saturday and Thursdays, absolutely. You know, Wednesdays and Sundays are the day that Concrete and I do our shows.
Okay. Okay. So the next time we have a female debate, I'll try to plan it for Saturday so we can have a female timekeeper. You know, that's just how we do it. And I appreciate you coming through, man, and getting up on here and getting up in the digital squared circle. You know, I know it ain't an easy thing to do, and you came and you did it.
No,
And
it was fun, you know, and it
all
was
right,
all about, you know, let's do something different in the space and be constructive about it. I appreciate that you have these because it does give people a chance to be constructive without being combative toward each other. So I think that's always a good thing, and especially
absolutely.
in bringing people together. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. You got to come back, Lady George. You got to come back. All right. And it goes for y'all too. It goes for you and Lady Concrete. You know, if y'all, want to come up here and debate something and or someone, hit me up. All right.
Will do. We appreciate you. This was fun.
Absolutely. Peace.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Peace, Lady George. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. It's been a long one for me. This is stream number 2. I did 2 back-to-backs. Y'all know we usually open it up, but man, I've been at it since like 7:30 with this shit, man. I have to close down, and I'm going to take a few puffs of my Cuban and crawl in the bed with my wife. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, man. I appreciate all the super chats and the cash apps. I appreciate the support, the likes. I even appreciate the dislikes. You know why? Because the people who disliked it, that means your black ass watched it. It all counts. You watched it. You watched it. Yeah. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, man. I appreciate these good folks here, man, in the chat doing what they got to do, man. And I appreciate you good folks out here, man, sticking in there with us tonight, man, hanging out with us, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for being a part, man, of the first co-ed debate on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. We may have some more of these, y'all. You know, I mean, I can't say it's gonna have big YouTubers like Brother Bernard per se, but we're gonna have more of these, man. And I appreciate y'all coming through, man, and being a part of it, man. Good shit, man. Good shit. So I'm gonna run my damn commercials, and we're gonna peel on up out of here, y'all. That's what we gonna do. I will see y'all on the other side of the break.
Open your mind.
Hey guys, T.P.O.T. on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But you knew that already. Peace, folks. This is Teacher Tanisha. You're listening to the T.P.O.T. Media YouTube page. Now back to the show.
Yeah, so we're gonna pack it up, man. Special shout out to Brother Bernard Riley from the Grown Man Hour, and also the ladies from the Breakdown, A Woman's Perspective, Lady George and Lady Concrete, for giving us a good debate, man. They showed up, man. They squared off. I gotta respect that. They showed up and they squared off. And hey, man, like I said, you may see some more of these down the road. And also a special shout out, man, to the official T.P.O.T, Timekeeper, brother Keep It Techie. Get on down there, man, and subscribe to my brother Keep It Techie, man. He's always doing good shit down there all the time. And far as brother Bernard Riley, if you ain't already subscribed to him, go on down there, because I know all of y'all probably already know who he is already. So go ahead, jump on his channel, hit that subscribe button, and go on down here and check out the ladies from the breakdown. If you're not already familiar with them, get on down there and check them out. All right. So with that, I will leave you with 3 words. You know, like I always do. Open your mind.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, say, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost got $1 billion.
The Properly.Will.
3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hears these sirens and looks through the mirror and sees this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the plight of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, punk. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Why do you think you never pick up the paper 3D over and over and see white families travel? You think it's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 40 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, if we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that anytime a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you do to drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, then we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Sac Fifth Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Westinghouse. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
San Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear a suspect down 10-4. That's 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your mind.
Only from the Prophet of Thought series media.
You know.
Open your mind. 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 Open your mind.